swear I have this written down. A dwarven man in fine blue robes. What most of you will recognize as a Shuanti. I don't know if all of you will recognize as a Shuanti, which are the region's indigenous people. So they're human. This is a human Shuanti. They have lots of geometric tattoos up their arms, and are quite heavily armored and actually armed. They're the only person you can see who is armed. And the most flamboyant human you have ever seen in your life. You're not entirely sure that they are human. They might be part something else, but good lord, are they flamboyant.
They're part fabulous.
Yes, they're part human, part fabulous. Nell, that includes you. You have seen a few people who could give this guy a run for his money, but this is fabulous even for cosmopolitan standards, like lovely Nell, who comes from a city.
What the hell is he all the way out here? Are they all the way out here?
Today is the autumnal equinox, which you will all know. That is just a thing. When your life depends so much on the seasons, that is just a thing you will all know. And okay, so the turnout in the village square is pretty respectable. You suspect that this is everyone who could possibly be here. There will always be some people who cannot leave their work even for the day, but you reckon this is everybody else. When it looks like everybody's there, and everyone seems to sort of settle, there's that moment that when you're in a crowded place, before anything happens, but everyone in the crowd thinks that something is going to happen. When there's just a hush, and everyone waits expectantly. What are your characters doing in this moment? Are you finding a seat? Are you making friends? You've already been there for 3 hours and you have a jug of mead? What are you up to right now?
Am I expected to do anything? Do I have a job?
You know that your place of business has a stall of sorts at the upcoming festivities, but you are not expected to join in partly because you haven't practiced whatever it is they're up to.
I'm new.
You're new. They will give you a free game on their stall. You don't have to pay, but you don't know what they're up to. You just know that your new co-workers will be participating in the festivities. No one else currently has a job, I believe. Not officially, at any rate. Some of you are guarding a caravan here, and that caravan is stopping here for the day. They don't need guards while they're here. So yes, the rest of you've all basically got the day off. You can do what you want.
I'm
probably going to fill up on things that aren't trail rations.
There's delicious smells of food coming from somewhere, but actual food has yet to materialize.
I'm on a quest for meat and beer and a seat near the back.
Beer, however, has materialized.
Excellent.
Because this is a medieval town.
You're probably quite near to each other then.
Yes. Excellent. Mox, what are you up to?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mox will be still sticking fast now.
Okay, Mox and Nell.
She helped them get a bed.
Mox and Nell, what are you two up to in this new land?
Well, lacking other things to do, I am probably just sort of letting Mox go wherever Mox wants to go, and just I'm just sort of running back up and helping explain things.
Mox, would you be going to investigate the stained glass and then being dragged back to be sit in front of the dais with everybody else?
Yeah, no, I don't think they would have seen stained glass before. They'd have read about it, probably.
It's very exciting.
I feel like they'll know about it.
Incredibly exciting. All right.
But yeah. Oh, also it's just going oh, I caught all the way the line. So pretty. See, Nell, you've seen it now. Now look, the glass. Nell,
yes, it's very pretty. Don't touch it. It's very pretty, but don't touch it.
You two will have noticed that underneath each of the windows, so one to either side of the doors of the cathedral, are what appear to be two memorials made of stone. The one on the left is decorated with brass butterflies, the one on the right with brass flowers, and both have real flowers and wreaths at their base. Each of them is covered in carved names. They are neatly carved, like this has obviously been commissioned. It's not just like someone's scratching at it. Looks like the one on the left has slightly less than the one on the right, but there's a lot of names on them.
Is there like a plaque saying what this is in memoriam? Obviously these people, but is there like in memoriam to the people who died in the Great Goblin Attack of 04 or something like that?
The Great Butterfly and Flower Attack.
One of them says Victims of the Great Fire. That's the one on the left with less names. The other one says Victims, where is it? I have this written down, I swear. Victims of Loneliness and Hatred. The one on the left has 16 names, the one on the right has 26. There you go. Like I say, there's real things have been left around them. I do have all the names written down, but I'm not going to read them to you unless you insist.
No,
you're fine.
Okay, in that case, the only one that will really pop out to you is that one of them has a title. All of the others are just two names, but the first one on the fire memorial has Father Ezekiel Tobin written on it. That's the first name. So, I guess a holy man of some description.
Congratulations, you estimated how much Mox would know what that might mean.
Ah, that's a holy man. Done. All right, so when the crowd goes quiet, the hobbit woman stands up, comes to stand at the front, stands at the front for a second, does a sort of dramatic looking around, and then puts her hands on her hips and goes, and starts tapping her foot. Some people in the crowd start laughing. This appears to be an old bit. This appears to be an old joke that everyone kind of understands, or at least most of them. Someone runs in and hands her a box, which she promptly stands on, and then looks out over the crowd. Everyone sort of chuckling to themselves. And she starts talking and goes, hello everyone. Hello. Kendra Deverin. I'm Kendra Deverin. Most of you already know me, but this isn't for you. This is for the actual visitors. Kendra Deverin, Mayor of Sandpoint. Lovely to meet you all. I hope you have a very good time here. It's a little bit chillier than it usually is this time of year, but I'm sure we will be fine. We have a big bonfire planned this evening. You will be fine. And I am sure, she kind of looks over at a group of people in the corner, that we have plenty of meat to make up for the cold. There's rousing cheer from the crowd as some people in the background are nodding. They look proud of themselves. So
hold mine in there.
Hey. She continues and says, makes a couple of jokes that none of you get, but get a lot of laughs from the crowd. They seem to be about certain people being here or not being here. One of them is, look, it's a miracle. Lars has made it out of his tanning shop today.
Mox will be beside themselves with laughter.
Everyone appears to be laughing, except from a very grumpy-looking man who is trying not to smile. He's trying hard to look grumpy and realizes this is probably the butt of whatever that joke was.
Huron allows himself a little chuckle.
And then there's that, of course, unfortunately, I was supposed to be introducing Longjiku, but he has, alas, fallen ill and will not be joining us today. I am sure we were all very sad about this fact. There is again some small amount of laughter from the crowd. She also spends some time. She extends a welcome to everybody who has joined her small town for this festival. It's delightful to see everyone here. It's the biggest festival they've had in years. Everyone cheers. And she spends a moment thanking everyone's hard work in the building of the cathedral, and how it's the back-breaking work that's been put in, and how it has gone from an empty plot of land to what the magnificent marvel you see before you in less than 5 years. There is a sort of pause when she says that she goes, I also want to say, on something of a more sober note, how very proud I am to have led you all, and to the way that your spirits have risen to the challenge since the late unpleasantness. And there is a small pause in the crowd. But then she goes, but I think we should move on to better things, and I would like to have a round of applause for our wonderful tavern owners who have been putting on, who are planning on putting on a free lunch for everyone involved, and everyone who is going to be involved, and I'm sure you will all enjoy them immensely. I hear Ameko has been working very hard in her kitchen, and who knows what wonderful delight she will come up with this for us all to taste. Once the cheering has died down, and there's some people at the back who are kind of just bowing, very dramatically. She says, right, now, well, we've got 3 more speeches to stand through, so I'm going to go sit down and rest my feet. And hide. And just hops off the box and walks back. The Sharanti comes up. The human Sharanti comes up and thanks Kendra. And says, right, before I give my speech, I would just like a moment of silence to honor the memories of our friends and family members who lost their lives in the tragic blaze that made our new cathedral necessary. Cherish those memories, and may the blessings of our gods see them all happy and well and safe in the afterlife. There is a somewhat begrudging pause. And if at any point you feel like your characters would involve themselves, interject, heckle, be stopped from heckling by Nell jumping on you because you don't understand the concept of heckling. I'm not looking at you, Mox, but I am looking at you, Mox.
Just be like, yes, tragedy, God, those things, yeah. Yeah, sure. Just they're like, yeah, this is clearly very somber. I shall be somber about it.
For once, all of us are in the same boat as Mox of just being like, what's going on here? But pretending we understand.
There's some drink hoisting and perhaps some getting poured out for the lads.
Yeah.
Pour one out for the lads. You don't know who the lads are, but you will pour one out for them regardless.
Not a whole one, surely.
There are lads everywhere. It's free drink.
True.
After a second, the person on stage continues. And so for those of you who are not aware, I am Sheriff Hemlock, and I am the keeper of the law in this town. And if any of you step out of line today, I know we have a festival going on, but I know that we've also got a lot of new people and large crowds attract crime. So the rules still apply today. I'm just warning you. Oh, we might overlook the odd bit of cheating in the Daz's strength check just to make sure that somebody actually beats him this year. But please be careful around the bonfire when it's lit, around sunset. Everyone's going to be bringing out all the drinks at that point, and drink and fire is a bad combination. As they appear to be about to waffle on at length, the incredibly flamboyant person stands up and goes, "Thank you, Sheriff, for that uplifting speech. Sit down." The sheriff does so. And he sort of waves and goes, don't worry. If things get too out of hand, I'm sure you can ask Ameko to take the stage and just put us all to sleep with one of her stories. There is some heckling and laughing in the crowd. From the back of the crowd, a woman who I don't know that any of you will recognize the ethnicity that she is, but she is very visibly not Varisian, which is the area that you are in, and most of you are from. She looks... Huron will probably be the one who's... Huron and Snitch, you're the ones who've travelled. She looks like she might be from Tian Sha, which is the East Asian analogue. The name Ameko would also coincide with that. From the back, as this is shouted about putting people to sleep with her stories, this woman stands forward and says, "What about the story of your latest theatrical flop, Surdak? I'm almost done with my new ballad. I call it Surdak the Unimpressive. Your boyfriend helped me come up with the name."
Oh, in character.
Savage.
That is in character. Oh!
You are not the only one reacting as such. There is a lot of laughing. Even Surdak, as apparently this man's name, also appears to be laughing.
I like that one.
He goes, no sign. He goes, no sign of our favorite ranger. It's a shame she might have rescued us from the horrors of a Mako's cooking. When there is still a bit more laughing, and then he goes, in all serious, Mako, truce for the festival. And from the back, the one raises a jug and just goes, truce, in a slightly drunken manner.
Truce.
He's like, yes, there's no time for bickering. It's time to celebrate. We've been through so much shit together, but look what we've accomplished. Look at this.
Truce.
And I'm telling you, they spared no expense with this place. Father Xanthus' chamber pot is lined with pure gold and has its own choir. Everyone is kind of not sure whether they're all laughing at this or not.
Is that moment of, am I allowed to laugh at that one?
And he says, I mean, after all, we did have the help of our very, very generous patrons of the nobles and families of Sandpoint. And of course, all they wanted to be repaid in was their own pew at the front and an acknowledgement of just how pious they all are. There are a few slightly nervous chuckles, but most people are just now staring at him in the manner of, I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh. He seems to realize that he's lost the crowd. And just goes, now join me in a bit of applause for His Holiness himself, and the man of the hour, Father Xanthus! Yay! Yay! Looks at you all until you start clapping.
Against beer mug.
No, Mox is going like,
So the dwarf in the robes comes up, stands at the front. And he seems incredibly somber in comparison to Surdak. And he seems to have a prepared speech, almost like a sermon, one might say. He says, today is the equinox, the turning of the seasons towards the cold and the dark, when all can seem so lost and hopeless. But we gather today to mark Desna's fall from the heavens after her battle with Lamashtu. Plummeting to the churning seas below, the world wept at the victory of nightmares over dreams, yet Desna clung to life, washing up on a rocky shore. There, she was discovered by a blind orphan, an outcast, who had no idea who she was, but who stayed by her side for a week, praying and keeping the faith. And eventually Desna regained her strength and returned to her rightful place among the gods, though all the world had thought her lost. And to thank the child who had saved her, Desna transformed her into an immortal butterfly to forever remain with her palace in the heavens. Now, more than ever, we need this story to remind us that tragedy is just a setback and not the end. Our place of worship was destroyed, our town rocked by so much death and tragedy, and yet we have persevered and built anew, and that today is the day of new beginnings, our day of ascension. Friends of Sandpoint, visitors from far and near, I declare the Swallowtail Festival officially underway.
yay!
The crowd goes bananas and starts immediately filing out towards all of the stalls and other things. Music starts up from somewhere. Beer starts being handed out just at will. Just, you have a beer, you have a beer. No, you're too small. Children try and get mead and get waved off.
Euron's already standing up to go back to the mead table before she's even finished the sentence, because he knows there's going to be a rush.
There is indeed somewhat of a rush to get to the beer tent. A small problem that my laptop with all the stuff on it isn't working. So, what do you want to do at this festival? And I will tell you what you can do. What do you think you would be going towards or trying to find, or what kind of things would catch your eye?
Food.
I don't believe there are any food things open until lunch. You were told that there will be the free banquet is lunch. So that's going to be happening at lunchtime.
Well, my place of work said that I get a freebie.
You do indeed get a freebie.
I guess I'll go over there with Mox if Mox is still following me.
Mm-hmm. Because Mox is going to find direction and wander in it, so if Nell starts off with one, be like, oh, that's the direction.
Well, I mean, if there's no food available, I suppose I'll have to settle for strippers.
So, fun fact. They're not actually stripping.
What's even the point?
Well, they're
They
not
may
gonna
be
strip without, you know.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay them a good
pay
amount
for
of money
that.
They are, however, quite scantily clad. They have a fun game where, when you arrive at the brothel, and I will note for anyone watching who is not aware of the way that Galarian works, sex work is entirely legal in Galarian and is no more frowned upon than getting pissed of an evening in the pub. There will always be those idiots who think that you are overindulging by even so much as smelling an ale, and they will think the same thing about sex work. But otherwise,
smelling a sex worker.
Please don't do that without paying them. It's very creepy.
That's a good point. Also, sex workers, charge for that.
Yeah, charge for smelling you. You're missing out. So, the brothel in Sandpoint is called the Tickle and Feather, and is run by a very no-nonsense Morrow, called Kay, who currently has a lot of her workers, who are of a ton of different genders, standing around outside the brothel. Some of them are dressed in very skimpy red costumes and have little horns on their heads. Some of them are dressed in very skimpy white costumes and have tiny fluffy angel wings on their backs. It should be noted that there are plenty of tieflings who work in this brothel, and 201, they are all dressed as angels.
Out
So
of
they have-
spite.
Out of sheer spite. And apparently I vamped long enough to restart my computer, so we're good. Never let anyone tell me I'm not good at this job. So, you want to go and see what the lovely workers of the Tickle and Feather are up to. Right, so they introduce you to a game called The Kiss of the Outsider.
I'm scared.
You are all adults, so you are allowed to go inside. Children are being turned away at the door.
Why are the children trying to...
Because they're excited. They know that there's a game going on inside.
Yeah,
There's a
there's
big
fun
banner
games.
outside that says "Kiss of the Outsider," 1 silver a turn. So they're like, "Oh, a game!" and then being turned away. So if you go inside, there is a very scantily clad person with breasts attempting to get out of the tiny bra thing that they are wearing, which is all very shimmery, and they are lying on what appears to be a table covered in white fluffy feathers. Standing next to them is one of the others dressed in red with the tiny horns. If you pay them, or if you're Nell, are you going first? Are you going to go and have a go at this? Or do you want to be told the rules first?
I want the rules first, I think. Nell is not scared, but Kat is.
A woman that you've already been introduced to as Linessa, who is currently the one standing in front of you with the horns, smiles at you and informs you that if, in your case, you don't have to pay, but once they are given the money, what they do is once the game begins, they fill the belly button of the angel lying on the bed. She just refers to her as the angel. They fill the belly button of the angel with a very potent drink called Plainer Punch. Then the Linessa, who refers to herself as the concubus, which you will probably, considering the circles you move in, almost certainly know is the gender neutral form of either incubi or succubi, concubi, puts a slice of lemon in their mouth with a little bit poking out.
What about a tiny umbrella?
The objective is to drink the alcohol, stand up, take the lemon slice from the concubus using only your teeth, and drop the slice into the waiting bowl. You get 1 point for every lemon slice you can get into the bowl.
And you have to take a shot before every
Time.
lemon.
The
What's
kiss
the
is like because you kind of get a kiss from the concubus as you take the lemon. So the kiss and the alcohol are kind of the prize.
Oh.
If you get 10 or more points, you also get a voucher for a free night at the Tickle and Feather.
None of this is relevant to me.
But it's fun.
No. Lanessa still goes, no. It's still open to you. Like, looks you up and down.
Oh. Well, it would be very awkward if, I went along for my night and they were like, oh, we booked you to deal with you.
Have our best room.
Awkward or perfect.
Enjoy. Yeah.
I mean...
So, does anyone want to take the concubus up on her offer?
Hell yeah! That's a great idea!
Can I bequeath my freebie to my friend Mox?
Absolutely, as Mox technically kind of works here, but has no idea what they're going to be doing as a job yet.
Honestly, I'm half picturing the little devils and the little angels just kind of appearing over Nell's shoulder, just like, you could do it yourself, or you could get your poor friend to do it.
They definitely have Patrick Warburton's voice.
Yeah, no, okay, game. Yes, drinking and kissing game.
Mox is like, things I understand.
Finally.
All right. Well, you're all paid up already, honey. So I'll just pour the drink and we can get started. And
Okay.
The concubus sachets over to the angel and pours a drink that smokes slightly into her belly button from one of those ones that people use for making cocktails with a tiny little spout on them.
Oh.
And it smokes slightly as it comes out of the bottle, and you have Nell has a moment of being glad that the person lying on the table being the angel is in fact a tiefling.
That's a good point.
Slightly immune to burny alcohol. So, are you going to go over there and take a drink?
That's part of the game!
Fantastic! Can I have a fort save?
Those are the
please?
rules!
They're the rules! The 13.
You pass. Well done. You managed to stand up without falling over. You do feel more woozy than you think you would after one drink,
Yeah.
but you successfully get the lemon. I'm not sure how much time you spend getting the lemon. It's up to Mox.
How badly I did with the drinking, I suppose.
You did it okay.
Although Mox will be trying their best to get it as cleanly as possible. Because surely that's the point.
You will have done so. The concubus definitely tries. The concubus definitely tries to kiss you as you take the lemon.
Mox just like, what is the point of that?
Don't move. It makes it harder. Cheating. She's cheating.
All
You-
teeth.
As you drop
They're
it
cheating.
as you drop it in the bowl, the concubus looks you up and down and goes, "Well done. Do you want another turn?
Sure.
Carry on then."
She
pours another one in.
Isn't it?
She
Or
doesn't
this-
ask you for any more money.
Ooh.
She just pours the drink again.
Well, then that would be an in-character thing for Mox. So just be
She's
like,
like,
"Oh, this is-
She's like, well, I mean, if you want to pay, you can. It's 1 silver piece, but you did so well the first time. Would you like to try again for free?
yes.
I should note that there are, in fact, 3 different games of this happening around the room. So if other people wish to do this at the same time, you absolutely can.
I don't think I can in good conscience leave Mox alone.
Snitch and Huron, if you wish to get involved in this, you can.
It's of the outsider being the sign. It wouldn't draw him in.
Okay. Snitch, are you inside the brothel?
I'm watching Mox. This is hilarious.
Okay, in that case, you notice that the other 2 people who are playing take a drink, try and stand up, and immediately faceplant. The second person who tries, and one of them manages 1 drink but falls over on the second.
Nell's gonna see that happening and sort of have a minute of looking at her fellow employees and just be like, 10 of those, I'm right.
They know their value. What
Yeah,
can you
they
say,
do.
you know?
Oh.
Did they
Mox.
say what night they get the free night?
If it's this
might
one,
need to be. It might need to be in a
Yeah.
week's time.
Mox, can I have another fort save off you, please?
Yep. Another 13.
Just. You're a bit wobblier this time. But you make it. You're not entirely sure which concubus has the lemon. And you figure out that it's the middle
And
one.
one of them. Can I just try and fork it with my tusks?
You do try that, and she jerks her head out of the way. And just goes, tusks are cheating.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. And you get a face stroke.
Oh,
Face stroke.
that felt nice.
They have very soft hands.
You both have very soft hands.
She just kind of smiles at you. Looks over your shoulder at the two people who are watching you and not participating. Snitch gets a wink. Nell just gets a knowing look. Like, you know why you're not involved.
Yeah, I do.
Would you like to go for round 3? If you get more than 10, you get a free night.
I want to see other parts of the outside the tent.
Well, we'll be here all day. Mox, wasn't it? We'll be
Yes.
here all day, sweetie.
Puffs their chest out.
You come back anytime.
I will. Goodbye.
Mox, I had the horrible realization that I don't think you've eaten.
None of you have had breakfast.
Yeah.
Mox has. It was a very liquid breakfast.
We started in. Oh.
What are you talking about? I've had like 3 mugs of mead at this point.
Several of you have had a very liquid breakfast. Right,
Mox
so
has had a bit of lemon.
Yeah.
Huron,
One of my 5 a day.
Huron, what will you have been gravitating towards if the sign outside the brothel did not grab your attention? What kind of things are you looking for?
Probably more games of skill.
Games of skill. What kind of skill?
Being an archerman, you would be looking for something of that ilk.
Well, do I have the game for you? One of the most popular games, it looks like, at the festival, in the middle, it's set up in the town square. Oh no, there's a sign to it set up in the town square pointing towards the coast. There's a big sign saying "Hunt the Devil," and then underneath, "Do you have what it takes to take down the Sandpoint Devil?" And it has a little drawing of an arrow. And if you follow it, you will find that there's an archery range set up on the beach. There's 2 large targets with silhouettes of what you think are winged horses with fangs on them. About 50 yards from the firing line. There's a bullseye is where the horse's heart would be, roughly.
I have no knowledges that would make me even curious about what that is. I'd just be like, that's clearly some kind of thing.
There is a gnome who is running it, and his attendant, his helper, appears to be a young human who could be described as buxom, and doesn't seem to be paying that much attention to the actual contest.
Mm.
Mostly the arms of the people participating in the contest. And is definitely wearing a dress that accentuates the buxomness. If she bends over, they just
Does
might go everywhere.
Does she have a fishing rod as well?
It's one of the games.
So, as you come up to there, the gnome starts going, "Another contestant! Do you want to fight the Sandpoint Devil, sir, and save Varizia from his attacks?"
Like, it'd be irresponsible not to, young man.
I think so exactly, young man. Yes, I think so too. The gnome is kind of a little bit surprised at your young man, been like, "I beg your pardon." Gnomes, man, they don't age until they suddenly stop. He explains to you that a longbow and 2 arrows will be provided, unless you can provide your own. But if you do provide your own, he will check it to make sure you're not cheating.
Do they allow crossbows?
They do. They do. But he wants to check it to make sure you're not cheating.
He does have his bag with him.
Would you whip that out though?
You're given 2 shots per copper. If you're given 1 copper, you get 2 shots. And your score is calculated from your best hit rather than your hits added together.
He will, like, he puts down his gear, he looks wistfully at the bag for a moment, and then picks up his janky crossbow.
You are also informed that if you get a bullseye, you will win a small pie from the local bakery.
That bullseye better no move.
All right, can I have an attack roll from you as you attack this unmoving target with a nice handy bullseye painted on it?
How far away is it?
50 yards. So 150 feet.
Okay.
They're not making it super easy on you.
That probably not going to be it. It's 14, but at 150 feet, it's considerable negatives.
You get your first arrow hits the target on the second ring in, not rather than the bullseye in the middle because it's got rings going. And you are the gnome gets very excited, claps, and goes, I can offer you this fine necklace. It's very obviously A, costume jewelry, and B, incredibly cheap. Fine necklace for your shot.
Another 2 copper. Like, does he have a counter or something?
He has a barrel.
Yeah, another copper appears.
Well, now you have 3 more arrows, good sir.
You'll fire them in rapid succession.
Cool. I need
He's getting annoyed.
3 attack rolls from you then.
First one was worse. That is a natural 20.
That's a bullseye.
Get another one. Split it. Split the bolt. Split the bolt.
That's never gonna happen.
Do it.
Oh, it was a 3.
That one doesn't hit. That one goes skittering off across the beach. Unless you have insane additions to that.
He's got like the not at level 1, I don't. But he reloads very quickly. So like
got 1 left.
He's already shooting the last one. Mm-hmm. Oh no, he shot 3 in succession. The second one was a crit.
Oh, what was the first one?
It was about the same as the first one.
Okay, so that would have hit the
previous one. So that would have been on the target, but then.
Yep. So the 20 hits the bullseye. The 3 skitters off into the sand.
It was
it's also a bullseye, but an actual bull.
Somehow on the beach, wandering around. Oh well, it's more food for the feast, I guess.
God, I hope it killed it. You don't want an angry bull on the beach.
The gnome gets very excited and goes, oh, "Attention! Attention, Sandpoint! What's your name?
Huron.
Huron has slayed the Sandpoint devil. Here's your pie.
Breakfast.
He has done Sandpoint a great service, and his name will be known for eons to come. Thank you for playing. Would you also like the cheap trinket?"
Yes.
You get given a shiny cheap necklace. You can add that to your inventory.
Wear it proudly.
You have a small meat pie.
Sort of, he gathers his things and kind of looks around nervously and shuffles away from the stand.
Can I get a perception check from you, actually? I probably wouldn't make the others roll this, but it seems like a thing that Huron may not notice without a perception check.
Oh, that was bad. 11.
Oh. You have a vague inkling that the helper was kind of hanging around you a bit more than she really had to when she was returning the arrows, or the bolts even, because she just kind of sachets over and hands you the bolts and then just seems to be there and doesn't seem to be leaving, and you're not sure what's going on with that.
He only notices after he's finished the 3 shots because he was getting annoyed at himself. He's like...
On an unrelated note, what's daddy in Dwarvish?
Gonna have to
Comes
ask.
to archery, Huron's got a strong pull.
definitely not safe for work stream here, guys. So, I mean, image-wise, it is. If you got us up on your computer, no one will know.
No one will know.
But we will know.
God will know.
You do see the girl, the buxom wench. Seems like a good title.
Which is gender neutral.
Does seem to be kind of sent off somewhere by the gnome when you're done. So Hurons become a hero of Sandpoint by slaying the Sandpoint devil. What the rest of you have either got blind drunk already, or witnessed Mox v sex workers, and the general confusion that entails. Where are you guys going next? What are you guys looking for? You gonna do fun stuff, or are you just gonna wander wildly around until lunchtime?
I just
Go
realized.
back to the beer tent.
Can I not retcon necessarily, but add flavor to the shots, knowing that someone will have had to hold Mox's mullet back.
I'd forgotten about the mullet. Right, so you're heading back to the beer tent. Is anyone looking for anything in particular? Or do you want to
Carbs. I really want some carbs. You know, I just really need some bread.
I probably am gonna have to try and make sure that Mox eats something.
Like some bread.
If you're standing in the middle of the street and just going, I really want carbs, or whatever.
Yeah.
A young. Yes.
Special thanks to Loop Sakurafu. The dwarves word for daddy is apparently Tad or Adad, depending on what kind of dwarvish.
Tad or Adad.
We thank you for your service. And
thanks, Lou.
That will probably come up later.
Hey, Adad Huron. What's up? How's it going?
All right. So, if you are standing there wondering where you can get some carbs, a delicious smell will assault your nostrils. It smells of pie. It smells really strongly of pie. What was that?
Is it? Oh, Huron's back.
No, but he could be. He's just going through in order to get to the beer tent.
He's shuffling through, trying to eat a pie whilst carrying all his stuff at the same time.
If you follow the smell of pie, you will find a bakery with a stall outside and one young rat
I mean,
folk.
to Mox, there probably still are a couple.
There's a young rat folk standing there in a white apron and going, "Do you want to join the pie relay?"
I would love to. Friends who look like my friends.
What are the rules? It's next to Mox. What are the rules?
Well, you have to eat a pie here, and then you have to run down to the next station, and then eat another pie, and then run down to the next station, eat another pie, and then run down to the next station and eat another pie, and then you win the ribbon if you're first. Isn't it a great idea?
It's an amazing idea. Mox, you should definitely do this.
So wait, the prize is a ribbon, but we get the prize by eating pies.
Yes.
This is a win-win situation for everyone involved.
Huron just skids to a halt.
I heard pie. Yes. The person at this stall seems quite excited about this.
How many shiny rocks do I need to give you? Mox is holding out their entire
fill. No, it's free.
No.
It's free.
It really?
Yes.
Wait, what's the catch? What's in the pie?
Fruit. Obviously. I mean, we wouldn't make you eat that many meat pies. It'd be too fatty. You'd throw up. So we make you eat fruit pies instead, because then you'll have lots of sugary energy, and then you'll run really fast, and then you'll win.
Huron looks kind of sad. He finishes the meat pie that he's got already.
I admit, I'm less interested, but I'm still interested.
You're less interested in doing it yourself and more interested in still watching Mox do it.
I think Nell's more interested after hearing that it's fruit rather than meat, actually.
You are shown...
I'm interested in watching Mox throw up while just enjoying a deluge of pies by myself.
You are shown the pie. It is essentially what in Britain we would call a mincemeat pie. But in America, they would call a spiced fruit pie of some description, I believe.
How big? Because those vary. That big? Okay.
It's not teeny tiny Christmas pie. The wee one.
Medium
It's a
size.
medium-sized pie.
Do I have to finish the pie before I start running, or can
Yes.
I eat it on the way?
No. The rat folk behind the counter has stopped smiling. You must finish the pies first. That's the point.
The rules.
Serious business.
Serious business.
Pies are serious.
Well, I'm in.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Huron starts securing his gear, like tying the straps
well,
tighter.
we do the
Right.
races. We do the races 4 at a time. So
Oh,
if you all
perfect.
want to place,
Boxes stretch.
I'll
it
just
out.
set out the pies. There are 4 stools in front of the stall.
Oh, good.
She sets down a plate with a fruit pie and goes, "No, don't touch it until I say so."
Coming between a dwarf and his pie.
You are given a look. Well, it's up to you whether you think Huron can interpret what this look says, but it is basically a.
He keeps a straight face for like a couple of seconds.
All right. So.
So
Oh no,
I'm going to
sorry, I've
start
got this.
slicing up the opposition. So Mox is drunk. Huron is already half full of food
And beer.
and beer. Nell is the real competition. Have to find a way to take her out.
I think Snitch has never seen a dwarf eat.
I'm gonna get fucking kneecapped.
I mean, Snitch is approximately half the height of the rest of you. Well, half the height of Mox at the very least, not half the height of Huron. That would be very small.
Yeah.
I'm going to need an advantage. My speed's only 20 foot.
Okay.
Your little legs.
So, when the lovely rat folk in front of you gives you the signal, you have to. Well, it informs you that you have to eat this pie as fast as you can, and then follow the blue flags to Sand Street, where you will find another pie station.
I love this town.
Got a warm into it myself.
Right. So
The hell
He
are we
goes-
rolling for this?
she goes, "Ready, steady, go!" And I need fort saves from everyone, please.
Oh! Oh, it's the first roll of the campaign for me. Guess who rolled a 1?
Nell.
Are you like
Takes 2
allergic
bites.
to fruit or something?
No,
Turns out that Nell is wildly allergic to fruit.
it's that or Nell is just actually not trying to win, she just wanted the free food.
You just dropped the pie on the ground.
Okay, so what totals did everyone get for their fort saves? To
I
move us
got
along.
18.
12.
17.
Fantastic. The three of you easily finish your pies. Nell is lagging. Audience, if you wish to suspect that Snitch has put something in Nell's pie, you may. As awfully
He
suspicious.
is a rouge after all.
He's a rogue, and he said, "I need to take her out of the competition," and then she rolls a 1.
heard it.
Everyone heard it.
I mean, take her out of the competition, not take her off the mortal coil.
I'm
Right,
not gonna
hard job
die,
doing that.
probably.
No, you just take a lot longer to eat your pie.
I'm
it's
enjoying
more-
it, I'm savouring it.
It's more spiced than you were expecting it to be, so it's got a lot of cinnamon in it.
Oh.
You have a moment, you're like, "Ugh, cinnamon!" Ugh. And then you manage to eat it all, and it's fine.
It's just pastry full of powdered cinnamon.
Oh.
Take a bite and then just cough out a brown cloud.
Can the three of you who are running onwards give me a fort save for running on a very full stomach? Not a very full stomach yet, but a full-ish stomach.
Oh, that's less good. That's 6.
Snitch, you were in the lead because you rolled best on your fort save last time, so you were off and running to the races, and then had a severe cramp. What do these two get?
22.
Huron?
24.
Huron
Like
and
a
not
cannonball.
sprint past you. Very dangerous over short distances.
I am
Lord.
assuming that none of this counts as poisoned, otherwise they're higher.
It does not count as poison damage. Then you see a second state. You follow the blue flags, run down the street, and you find another table with 4 seats and 4 plates. And as you come running towards it, there's another rat folk who goes, oh! and gets 4 more pies.
Like, Mox is straight up faster than me, but I just make up for it by eating quicker.
Yeah.
Can I attempt to use acrobatics to take a shortcut?
Oh, you'll have to do acrobatics and also stealth.
So you don't get
Because if
caught
they catch
cheating.
you cheating, you'll be disqualified.
I think Nell is literally just ambling to the next station, enjoying the fact that she's getting free food.
I'm
Having a
letting
nice walk and pie.
Shall I stealth first?
Yes.
Watching Nels broke out a little knife and fork and was just.
Well, that's my first nat 20 of the campaign, so 30.
All right, roll me an acrobatics to take a shortcut and beat them to the table.
What even are rat folk?
11.
You don't beat them to the table, but you do catch up with them.
I want it pointed out.
Nobody notices you fail to jump over a thing.
You kind of fall over it, but you still get there. Yes, Pat?
Bethan, courtesy of Loop again, if he gets caught, he'll be disqualified.
I should have made there are no puns rule. Why did I not make there are no puns rule?
Yeah, it's too late now, you can't go back!
No fun with ain't no pun!
I'm just disappointed the chat beat me to it.
Yeah.
Oh, chat, why? Why are you
You're-
enabling these people?
Huron takes 3 psychic damage.
From a pun from the sky. All right, so Nell, you don't have to make the fort saves for running between each place.
I'm not attempting to win anymore, I'm just having a nice walk and some good
You're just going to
pie.
follow the flags and get some
This
pie.
is what happens when you roll a 1 on the first go.
All right, so everybody who made it to the second table, roughly at the same time, you are given a second pie, and I will need another fort save. You're beginning to feel a bit odd.
That's not good. That's a 9.
Oh no. Oh no. What did you roll? Yes, I'm looking at you, Nick.
That would be a nat 1.
Huron joins Nell in an inability to eat pie. Snitch and Mox, what did you get for your fort saves?
I got a 9. Oh, sorry.
You got 19 and a 9. Ooh. Okay, so Snitch is currently winning. Mox has a moment of...
Maybe I shouldn't have taken those shots out of that concubine.
Mox has a moment of, oh, I can feel all that alcohol coming back up again. Sorry, the pause was me reading the lines for what happens if you fail, which I put in a really weird place.
Huron just regrets having eaten a
Well-
whole meat pie directly before eating more pies.
Okay, so...
No, tastes just as bad second time around.
Okay. So Snitch, you eat the second pie like it's no problem, and then you're running off again, and I'll get another fort save from you in a second. Huron, you eat the second pie and decide that you really need to not eat any more pie or do any more running for at least another half an hour, or you will be sick.
Just sort of standing like,
Just catch up, sit down next to him, look at the remainder of the pie, I'm like, you gonna finish that?
Mox, you do manage to finish your pie, but you are now on a 6-second delay behind Snitch. It took you 2 rounds to finish that pie.
if Nell actually asks Huron, he's like, yes.
Oh. And I will not steal and eat it.
He's got his beard like covered his mouth.
The second pie was an apple pie, for the record.
Oh.
Yes. Snitch, Mox, you are running onwards. Can I have another fort save from you, please?
I've got a natural 20.
Aha.
I've got an unnatural 19.
Aha! You both make it to the final station. The final station. there is another rat folk waiting for you. This one looks smaller than the others.
They're like, no one has ever made it this far
Actually,
before.
can I ask a quick rules question?
You can.
One of my starting traits is the Hagfish Hopeful, which means I'm used to eating a lot of putrid things. Does that mean I can apply that bonus to this?
But these things aren't putrid. I mean, I suppose you could.
If
Yes,
he needs
why
to
not?
swallow his own vomit back down.
If you need to,
Yeah.
If you fudge a check to the
Gross
point where
warning
I'm
to the
like, you're
chat,
feeling
sorry.
very bad, then you can use that. But currently, you're not feeling particularly nauseous. You're feeling quite fine. You've just eaten.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Yeah. So you make it to the station. You've realised that you've gone round in something approximating a triangle, maybe a square, because you can see at the other end of the road that you're on, the place where you started.
Ah.
So you have. Did I get you fort saves for the run, or did I give you fort saves for the pie as well? Whatever. Fort saves for the pie, please. You did fort saves for the run. Neither of you
Yeah,
were sick.
we haven't done the final pie.
You are given a final pie. This one is cherry.
No
Sweeter than the
17.
others. 18.
5.
Ooh. Snitch, you're not feeling very great, but you managed to eat the pie and you were not feeling nauseous. And Mox, you very much cannot eat another pie today. Maybe you should have had the alcohol after the pies.
You need some more alcohol to soak up some of that pie.
Yeah.
And the person who is at this stage informs you that all you need to do now is run back to the start. And the first person to cross the finish line is the winner.
Oh,
So I don't need to eat more pie anyway.
There are no more pies to be eaten. You just have to pass another fort save.
Let's go for it.
Huron, do you and Nell saunter on further, or have you decided that you've had quite enough for today?
Huron is walking gingerly back to the first station.
He will meet you guys there. Nell, are you continuing on to eat the cherry pie?
I'm continuing on leisurely to enjoy the pie.
Cool. I did not ask you for fort saves for your eating a mince pie and an apple pie in quick succession.
It's because I'm not sprinting
you are
around.
not sprinting.
I'm just leisurely strolling up to the pies, sitting down, tucking in my
will need
napkin.
I will need one for your third pie in under 5 minutes.
Oh, if this is gonna make her sick, then she just won't do it. She'll just
Okay.
walk to the finish line.
Cool. So so it's between Snitch and Mox. You guys are running to the finish line.
Another fort save?
Another fort save is your last one.
Huron walks about halfway back and then takes a rest for a bit.
Terrible.
I got a whopping 14.
So did I.
Nah.
And unfortunately, Snitch, and I'm not going to be able to use this again, so Snitch makes it by a whisker.
I say, well, surely that accounts for Snitch is like the lead he got when
Yeah.
Mox been there.
It's the lead he got, plus the fact that every time you failed, you were taking penalties to the next roll. So Mox failed more times, so Snitch made it on that roll. Snitch makes it back. The very excitable rat folk that you will at least recognize is in fact female. Most of you will probably have never seen a rat folk before you met Snitch. They're not that common. But you know, Snitch grew up around rat folk. He knows.
And they're dissimilar enough that
Yeah, they have enough of a sexual dimorphism, but not.
I just mean that like Mox has
Not Disney levels of it.
Yes.
yeah, Mox never met anyone who wasn't a Morrow before, but
Yes.
can
Just like-
extrapolate.
They get very excited and they go, "You're the winner! What's your name so I can put you on the winner board?"
My name is Snitch.
Snitch. It's a fine rat folk name. Fine name that. Snitch.
Named after my granddad and his granddad before him.
Oh, love a good family tradition.
And also my uncle. And his uncle. And my aunt, weirdly.
Well-
And my second cousin.
Well, my name's Annika, and you've already met my sister Erica, and you met our brother as well, Carver.
Nell's looking at her like vaguely ill party members, just like, I know that I came last, but I still feel like I won.
Just going, I feel rather fresh.
It's like, I had a nice meal.
Snitch is given.
I was really hungry. Not
you-
anymore.
I was really drunk.
A little
anymore.
little blue rosette with dangly ribbons that just says "winner" on it is pinned to Snitch's lapel, or whatever he has, chest area. And wear that with pride. You did very well. You are one of the strongest stomachs in Sandpoint.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh.
Because I'm going to the hagfish at some point.
Annika just to drink from Nora's tank.
Oh yes.
Is that part of the festival?
You will need that. No, that's just a town tradition. I did not know that outsiders were aware of it, but
I feel
Well,
it's
we'll
going
have
to
to
be
see-
disgusting,
we're to-
could we not?
What's a tradition?
I
Oh,
possibly shouldn't tell you in front of your queasy friend. But if you stop by the Hagfish, I'm sure the proprietor will tell you all about it. He's very fond of his Nora, he is.
Should we do that now then? Should we just go to the Hagfish now? And watch
want to, you
Snitch
can.
die in session 1?
Well, the
we
chat
allowed
are
to?
currently trying to kill Huron with psychic damage.
Is there just pun after pun
Yes.
after pun coming? I
It's
am not
amazing.
paying attention to the chat because I do not have enough
I can't read.
bandwidth.
I'm just watching Hyperion and Loop go back and forward with terrible puns and giggling.
Let me just find out what the name of the person at the Hagfish is. Let's see where they are today.
If we can rock up and be like, yo, we want to drink your fish water.
I'm just checking to make sure that they are in fact there and not running a stall somewhere.
Speaking of like, that'd be like first lines. Hey babe, and drink your fish water.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! I'm the GM. I'm not supposed to take psychic damage. That was gross.
Want to take part in a pie rally?
I promise not to puke.
Huron might be dead.
Have they thrown more? Yeah, they have.
All right, so you can have a bit of downtime, bit of a rest, bit of time for Huron to gain his bearings back. And
Well,
Mox
once
to remember-
everyone gets back to the table, he just has a little lie down.
This is the
You need
digestion
to coil up and
period.
digest for 3 days like a
you are offered a tent nearby that is set up for this purpose. There are already 2 people lying down going, "Ugh,"
I'll
inside.
try
I'll
to sober up
stick-
a bit.
I'll stick with the floor. Good,
do you-
good
Do you
floor.
wish to go off and do anything else, or shall we go to lunch? The reason I'm giving you the break is so Huron doesn't have to go straight from this to lunch.
For
the sake of-
You are a
sake of any-
merciful and wise GM.
Any emetophobes in the chat, we shall not have to witness Huron being sick today.
Just get my drink, you'll be fine.
Is it lunchtime?
Right.
Excellent, I'm famished.
Well, would you like another game, or there's lots of people shouting things. There's an enormous person of indeterminate but very large race, who is challenging people to what they call a contest of toppling the hammer.
The race is hench.
The race possibly is hench. You have no idea.
Is the hammer the name of the big guy?
Both of the person who is saying this is arms are tattooed with hammers. And also, Mox, this person is bigger than anyone you've ever met. They are large, as in the size category.
Lord. If Mox is
Je-
sober enough, they're instantly
Jesus.
just drunk again. Just Lord.
They just crack their knuckles and go, "Anyone up for toppling the hammer?
Big.
You look like a strapping young woman."
Big.
I am indeed. Fancy.
Huron just sort of crawls towards him.
You look like a strapping small person.
I'll be with you in a minute.
All right.
Carry on.
Who's up for a spot of arm wrestling?
How do our arms wrestle?
They look
You
very
take the one on
taken
the
aback.
left, we'll take the one on the right.
No, one at a time. Choose cheating.
I'll
And
be
I will
demonstration.
have to throw you in the sea.
I'll be
Oh.
demonstration. I'm sure I don't stand a chance, but you know.
It's a copper apiece. If you don't mind.
Over.
If you win, then you get 2 copper pieces.
Oh,
Double your money.
and bragging rights,
And
presumably.
and bragging rights. Yes.
That's the important
Definitely
part.
bragging rights.
Let's be real.
Alrighty, I don't know why I'm putting up my sleeves. I'm getting far too into character. We're gonna arm wrestle you over the internet, Cat. Let's go. I will lose.
I don't know, man. I'm weak.
It's fine. If I was actually going to arm wrestle all of you in order, then I would very much definitely start with Viv, so that I didn't tire myself out before I had to try Viv. Have you seen these guns? Have you? I'm not fighting them. So
Things are loaded. Okay, I got
With
a permit.
potato.
no, mine are loaded with big potato. Jeez.
And are
Alright.
loaded with pizza.
There's a small table and chairs, and the one of the chairs is significantly larger and stronger than the other one. The large person, who has so far given you no name, sits down and puts their arm up to arm wrestle.
Thick McLarge huge.
Nell's gonna like flip their hair strategically over one shoulder, lay herself out quite seductively as she does to take the hand.
I feel like you could do something. You could make
Gonna
a roll
chuck
or
him a
something
wink
like that.
while I do.
Just puts all 4 fingers around his thumb.
I need to inform you all that you have made an erroneous assumption. She.
She? Oh, okay. She. Still, same.
I'm-
Doing the same thing.
I just need to double check something. Oh yeah, no, good. I don't have a chart of every NPC in this world's sexualities. What are you talking about?
Are you checking to see whether there's a chance that they'll get distracted by my cleavage?
Yes, I am.
Well, Nell's definitely taking advantage of that.
To be fair,
Huron parts his beard a little bit.
to be fair, they also have very impressive cleavage themselves.
Oh, no, it'd be a
He turns
mutual
and
thing.
goes, "Ada."
All right. In that case, can I have a straight strength check from you, please?
Oh, almost certainly not, but I shall try.
Both Huron and I are uncomfortable.
Oh, that was a mighty 10.
She could botch it. She could botch it.
She won't.
She lets you win for a couple of seconds.
Oh,
She
that's
lets you
so
look-
nice.
Feel like you're trying. The arm does not move,
Yep, no.
and then just slams yours down
Yeah.
the table. And just goes, very nice.
I was hoping for like a contest of strength that Huron could like he would just apply engineering to it.
Not this one, but there might be others.
This
in
is
the
not one that
This-
you can do that.
This is just a straight strength check. So, Mox,
Nell is gonna say to them as she like stands up to make space for the next person, just like, yeah, that's not usually my kind of wrestling. Tickle and feather if you're ever interested, and then back off.
come find me at the.
You guys do wrestling there?
Sort of, Mox.
Aye.
Mox.
Yes.
You want to go?
Where?
Do you want to arm wrestle the Mox?
Oh yes, copper,
Thank you.
copper rock.
Thank you.
Just do what I did with less cleavage,
Okay.
or
What you have
possibly
to
more.
do-
I'm not You know what?
I forgot. Lost the voice. What you have to do is you have to put your arm. Your elbow has to stay on the table.
Right.
You're only allowed to use the one arm.
Right.
We're gonna clasp hands, and then you've got to try and push my hand down like that onto the table, and I'll try and push your hand down like that onto the table.
Right.
All right. All right. So, Mox, as party bard, would you like to give me a strength check?
Yes.
I need to point out that you may have racial bonuses to this, but you're also a bard.
Yep.
I mean, I was gonna go plus one.
We don't have a strength person really.
I think you're the closest they have.
I don't have a, not to strength. I don't have a racial bonus. It's like to
So
my combat modifiers. I do. I think Mox is still drunk.
When you made that face, I legitimately didn't know if that was a 1 or a 20.
That's a 2. This is a straight roll. That's
You haven't beaten them in that case, unless you have an
Unless-
ungodly modifier to your strength that
I
you
could
haven't been telling me
maybe-
about.
I could maybe add a +1 to it.
You somehow do worse than Nell.
I had the power of boobs on my side.
But you do, for a second, you kind of push against the hand, you get the hang of it, the hand moves a little bit, and then it gets slammed down on the table.
Nell, I did it just like you!
Well done, dear.
Nice effort, pair of you, and
At that point, Huron sort of hoists himself to his feet. So hits himself in the chest a couple of times. We're good.
let's go, Mr. Dwarf! Copper. You take your copper, they put it in a little pot that's half filled with copper.
I don't think they've had to pay out at all today.
They have not.
He does the engineering sort of maths in his head between the size of the arms. He goes, I don't come out of this well.
The size of the arm is, when flexed in an arm wrestling position, is approximately the size of Nell's waist. Actually, that might be too. I can't remember how curvy Nell is.
That's pretty fucking curvy.
Maybe not then. It's the size of Snitch's waist. You're a rat folk. You're a little person.
How do you know I'm not dummy thick?
I kind of
That's why you
hoped you'd have
put
told
that
me,
stealth
but I feel like that would have been.
I don't know if I can picture a dummy thick rat folk. I'm not gonna lie. I'm struggling a bit.
I'm trying to sneak around these enemies, but the clap of my dummy thick ass cheeks keeps alerting them to my presence.
Yeah.
So immediately upon Rory saying that, the first thing I thought of is the albino rat from Flushed Away. He's like 4 times the size of all the other rats.
Oh yeah.
And very
oh
hench.
no, Luke made it better. They said the clap of his rat cheeks.
That just makes me think he's just got like chubby hamster cheeks. Maybe.
He's still got plus 14.
Could he use them to put the pies in?
All right, let's do an opposed strength check, please. You're on.
She's gonna snap you like a wishbone.
20.
Ah.
You actually win.
You get a copper.
She got a 19.
And the crowd goes wild!
Like it's a proper one of those struggles. It goes back and forth for a while. She looks perturbed, actually puts some weight into it, and then you just slam her arm down on one side. And she just goes, "You're the first person to beat me all day. Here, have 2 copper. Yeah, you're staying in town?
Aye, I'm at the White Deer.
Right, come to the Rusty Dragon later, and I will buy you a drink, sir."
You're on.
That was really. What's your name? That's really impressive.
You're on.
Yeah, I heard them shouting.
I
on the
am
beach.
the slayer of some kind of monster that looked a bit weird.
Oh, the Sandpoint Devil.
Aye, that one.
Yeah. Felden Alt. I'm an apprentice blacksmith.
That makes sense.
You'll probably
Arms.
meet my boss at some point.
I feel like Nell and Mox have literally just spent, since their turns at the arm wrestling, we've just been sort of admiring their arms and shoulders.
They do kind of do like a bit of a gun show.
Yeah, we're
And
just
go,
like,
and
this
just
is
go.
fine.
They do call me the Hammer.
I'm gonna take off my blue rosette and pin it on Huron to say, "You deserve this more than me."
They're bonding. They're bonding as a party. It's adorable. All right. It is shortly after this that a gong sounds in the market square, and everybody just stops what they're doing and just goes to the square. Just everyone, including Felden. They just come with you. They do take their
follows
jar
you.
of copper though.
And then Huron goes full dwarf by going, that'll be lunch then. Grand.
Sounds like it. There's a contest.
There's a contest?
Oh no.
Oh, no more eating
Is it a
contest.
lunch eating contest?
Jesus.
It is not a lunch eating contest. You will be. Felden will tell you as you walk along that lunch is being provided for free and is being cooked by the taverns of Sandpoint. And there is a competition between the taverns to see who can create the most delicious and unusual food.
Hagfish.
No!
No. If you say this in front of, if you do not say this in front of Felden, Felden will get very offended.
Yeah. Of course not. That was definitely out of character.
Good.
Is there an incredibly angry blonde man shouting at all the cooks?
You did see an incredibly angry blonde man earlier, but I mean, he wasn't angry. He was just flamboyant and loud.
I need it in my life.
Donkey!
Future character ideas.
Oh yes.
There does appear to be something going on at
Shenanigans.
the stage is still up, and as everyone kind of sits at the table, at the huge long table, it doesn't have any food on it yet. They know people. There is the very flamboyant. Sorry, excuse me. The very flamboyant man, possibly called Surdak, appears on the stage and goes, "Gentle folks of Sandpoint, neighbors from near and far, I would love to present to you an ongoing challenge to any who consider themselves of the musical bent. To entertain you over lunch, we shall have a talent contest. And no, people of the Tickle and Feather, we're keeping it clean today. Thank you." There is some people going, darn.
Nell is one of those people.
No, Neil's been very clean. I don't.
And this evening, just before the Swallowtail release that marks the beginning of the official ceremony, as the sun goes down, we will be doing a final judgment of all the talent that has been on today. We will need your votes to come along and let us know what's going on. And we have, straight from the grand city of Magnamar itself, we have the diva Alessandra, who has come all this way to be in a play at the Sandpoint Theatre directed by yours truly. And she has agreed magnanimously, as is her wont, to judge this contest for us tonight. Nell, this is approximately the kind of scoop of you leaving London and then discovering that I know very few actors. I don't know, like Orlando Bloom is suddenly here.
Is that okay?
Oh, okay then. This is a tiny town, and this is huge.
Okay, I was thinking like BBC TV actor. No, Orlando Bloom. Okay.
No, we're going for like.
He does live in London. I know.
Magnamar has the equivalent of the West End, so this is a West End level actor here, and often those West End level actors are people like Sir Patrick Stewart. So. You know, this is an important actor who's arrived. You have definitely heard of Alessandra.
Yeah. Anyone next to Nell would possibly have noticed when they were saying that there was someone all the way from Magnamar. Nell will have tensed, and then when they said the name, her jaw will have dropped.
You know that she was in a play recently in Magnamar called Ethel and the Pirate's Daughter. She played Ethel. And she's now playing at Sandpoint Theatre, which is rather like, you know, you've shown up and Orlando Bloom is playing.
He's playing the dame in the panto at your local theatre.
Yeah, basically. You assume that they hit.
That'd be awesome.
From the way it was described.
Playing panto doing the pub.
Well, from the way it's described, you figure that this place probably has an actual theatre, but it's probably not big.
One of those. It's still incredible that he managed to get this person. But yeah.
She's also an elf.
Have some dirt.
She's an elf, and she has been famous for quite a while. When you're an elf and an actor, you just keep being famous
Keep
forever.
going. Really?
Don't age. Alrighty, so there is. If anyone wants to join the talent show, it's 2 copper to enter. and the winner is granted a free audition at the Sandpoint Theatre. Surdak informs you to perform in the ensemble. And the winner and second and third place are granted free tickets to the opening night performance of The Harpy's Curse, their new play starting in 2 weeks, starring Alessandra.
I could be in the theatre.
I have already drawn far too much attention to myself.
Nell.
Do you think they'd let us do a double act? You could play the violin and I could dance and keep my clothes on for a change.
We could ask.
Snitch, do you want to get in on this? Is there anything you want to join, Snitch?
I'm looking at my skills and trying to figure out which one of them can be most entertaining, and the only one I'm coming up with is escape artist.
That would be pretty entertaining.
It's fine. I'll
You
tie
might
him
have
up
to
and
provide-
dance around him, and then he can escape while Mox plays
Now,
the
does
violin
anyone
accompaniment.
Does anyone happen to have like 50 foot of chain and a glass waterproof tank?
No, but I have a lot of rope.
No, surprisingly.
A voice from the sky informs Snitch that he's level 1! Don't do it, Snitch!
Rope
Escape
might
artist
be
pretty
enough.
If you remind that at the beginning of session 0, I didn't even have armor.
So, Surdak is kind of hanging around. People are just turning up and giving him stuff, giving him money.
If Daddy doesn't want to get in on this, then we're gonna get all the information drawn to us so that he can relax a bit.
So Surdak is just kind of lounging in a chair and just being like, "Everyone is welcome except you," pointing at the person who's presumably a Mako as she wanders past. She flips him off.
Somebody call the sheriff because there's been a murder.
Oh Jesus!
Rip headphone users.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
We'll need to make up a graphic for that. Just flash it up in the edits.
So, are you going to pay this man 2 copper?
Will he let us do a
Pretty
triple
rope,
act?
man. Can we do a double act?
Triple act.
Well, that's not the first time I've been asked that, but sure.
Well, I mean,
Come on. Snitch, are you in? Snitch, how are you?
I can probably drum.
What exactly is your act? Tell me. I'm intrigued.
I play this. Just takes out the violin.
Mox
Well.
is gonna play the violin, and I'm going to dance while Snitch tries to get out of some very complex knots I'm going to tie him in.
Not gonna lie, that sounds like
Well,
a
are we
double
going
act
for
and a
this
solo
now?
act. I don't see the connection, but I've heard of weirder things, and it'll at least prevent Ameko from trying to take over the stage. So, absolutely, eat fast, because it'll be happening right after. So everyone needs to get together and you need to learn the rules. I'm Surdak. I am the director and proprietor of the theatre here in Sandpoint, and you are Mox and Snitch and
Now,
Nell. Mox and Nell. I'll just write that down. Snitch and Nell. And it's a musical dancing escapologist routine.
Yes.
Well, that's not on my list so far, so you're the only one in your category.
Is that good?
All right, be here, and he gives you a time that is in approximately an hour and a half to be back at the stage. But shortly after that, all of the food is laid out, and it is incredible. Mox possibly is not aware of just how incredible it is, because everything here is incredible. Like, holy shit, so many pies. What the hell? Pies of fruits that come into season at different times, all served at the same time.
Different types of alcohol that you can just drink.
Yeah.
Really? As much as you want?
There is very fine lobster chowder, which is the main offering of the Hagfish. It's the name of the tavern that one's from. There is peppercorn venison from the White Deer Inn. There is a stew that is called meat stew that is from the Tar's Quarrel, which everybody seems to be tucking into with gusto. It smells meaty.
It certainly smells like stew.
In a word, it smells hearty. Like it smells good, but not necessarily fine cuisine. And then there is a curry spiced salmon. A whole salmon, skin replaced, having been cooked and spiced. When you cook a whole salmon, you take off the skin and then you spice it and cook it, and then you put the skin back so that it seals it all.
That makes more sense than what was in my head.
So there is just this enormous fish that smells of curried spices, which I'm describing to you as such because your characters have probably never had anything approaching a curry in their lives. For the record, this is more sort of Thai curry than it would be Indian curry. So sharper spices, different flavor, textures.
Mox is putting their face directly in that.
You will be prevented from doing so, but you'll be given a large serving.
Nell's probably going for that as well.
There's also an awful lot of other food. Those are just the four showstoppers of the 4 different taverns.
Oh, I'm gonna need to get some new clothes made.
And everything on this table is free. You can have as much of it as you want.
Yes.
Do you all end up sitting together?
Probably. We've just kind of ended up gravitating towards each other.
Because there are seats. You can sit at this table. You don't have to just stand around eating entrees.
Mox might loom, actually. Just bloom about.
Couple of minutes after the food is served, which is generally kind of like the food serving is quite loud, but then there's just this silence, which is a sign of a very good feast, as everybody just goes, so good, and stops talking because they're eating too much. But once the talking sort of starts up again and people have slowed down and remembered to breathe between eating mouthfuls of food, the woman who may be a Mako appears behind Mox and just goes, "Violin?
Violin!
Oh, are you enjoying the salmon? It is my specialty." Yes, I made it. Yes,
it's very nice.
Really good.
I hear that you're participating in the talent show with some of your friends.
Yes, they're here. So points down at various components.
Huh.
He's also my friend, but he's not in the show. He has talents, but not that he's showing.
I'm sure he has many talents. Everybody does. I'm a Mako. A Mako Kaijutsu. I run the Rusty Dragon. I'm hoping you're enjoying my curried salmon. Sardak won't let me play, of course. He's worried about being upstaged. But if I'll be here for the talent show, and not often we get other musicians rolling into town. So if you're interested, hit me up at the Rusty Dragon, and if you're any good, we could, jam. We could jam.
Jam. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Jam.
You're all. None of you look like how do I put this? Traders.
Well, I trade in something. I'm a new local. I just got a job here.
We're 4 traders.
I suppose it might be. Is it too much of a presumption to suggest that you might be considered adventurers?
Nell has horrific flashbacks to Session 0.
might be stretching it a wee bit, but
a little bit.
No, I don't know. You got that look about you.
You
got that look about your eyes, especially you. Points at Huron. You got that look.
Yeah.
I've not really been many places to adventure.
That's indigestion.
That's definitely indigestion.
Pie relay?
Among other things.
The Averton family are very insistent upon the goodness of their pies, and new bakers just come into town, you see, so they were talking for months about how they could get people to try their pies over the new baker, and giving them away for free while running appeared to be anyway. If you do need anything, I'm always happy to meet new adventurers, even if you won't call yourselves as such.
I'm definitely an adventurous sort, but possibly not in that regard.
More of a soldier
Noted.
than an adventurer.
I can see the point. Like I said, I'm the proprietor over at the Rusty Dragon. If you need anything there, just I'm fairly spottable. You can show up and ask for me. I should be there most of the time.
Oh.
Enjoy the food. Remember to vote.
Yes. Jam.
Jam. Yeah. All right. I'll see you all later then. She turns and walks away, and you can see she's got something that is definitely a stringed instrument of some kind on her back.
Mm-hmm.
It is not dissimilar from a mandolin, but it's larger. The neck goes on for a very long way. And it has way too many strings. But I'm not even going to let anyone roll for it, because you've never been to Tiansha, so you have no idea what it is.
Craftsmanship on that instrument.
Oh, you like it? It's ancestral, apparently. It was my grandfather's.
I'm something of an engineer myself. It would take some skill to put something like that together.
Yes, well. She leaves without saying anything else.
Bye.
So, you're having
Moss,
a delicious
do you know
dinner.
what jam means?
No.
It means she wants to play instruments with you.
Aw.
She wants to make music with you. Collaboration.
In my experience, it usually involves a lot of drinking as well.
It's going to
that might
happen at a
happen.
pub. Inn. Place where drinking
I think it's both.
occurs.
She said the dragon, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
The rusty one.
looks like the white deer's getting pumped just as well, only paid for one night.
So,
Her food's
You
definitely
have-
good.
you have a wonderful dinner. I mean lunch, not dinner.
It's a hot meal, so you can call it a dinner. This is very much a where are you in the world type of thing.
So, what are you up to? You're just gonna eat
I'm
food until there
rosining
is no
my
more
bow.
food? You're what?
Rosining my bow.
I will assume that is an important phrase, and that you know more about violins than I do. So
I know what that
I'm not
means.
waxing it.
No, rosining. You use rosin.
Yeah. It's,
Oh.
you know that
It's
weird
perfect.
sticky thing that's like
Yeah,
stuck
yeah.
to a cloth?
It looks like amber.
and then you
Yeah.
you thingamy the thing all.
Yeah,
Good
yeah, no.
gestures I'm making
You-
here,
good-
chat.
that's
You
how
do
we got
you do the thing with the thing.
I'm
and then-
preparing
and
my instrument to
it's-
play it.
For
then
those
it's thinged.
for those less in the know, something that we are all aware of. Viv actually plays the violin, so
Badly.
therefore will occasionally just come out with words that make me, a non-violin player, very confused. So that is what that was about. Also, I hope you learned something about violins today, because I did.
I think we're just gonna eat food and then go do our act.
Eating food at a pace that is sensible.
Yeah.
Right, Huron, are you staying to watch your friends in the talent show?
Yeah, why not?
Awesome. Can the three of you give me... Actually, no. You will have to give me perform checks.
Mm-hmm.
Snitch, do you have perform?
No.
Okay.
Well, he's
But I have
doing.
escape
You have
artist.
escape
Yeah.
artist. So, Nell, if
Yeah.
you are going to be dancing around him, you're going to need to perform your butt off,
Yeah.
because you're performing for two.
Yeah.
I would also like you to perform in front of me, therefore, and to just distract the audience so they can't quite see me all the time.
Yeah.
I see you've done this before.
I have a plan.
All right.
I forgot
In that case-
in my inventory. I on my gear is fancy clothes. I change into my fancy clothes.
I'd forgotten about the fancy clothes. Nell, do you also change into fancy clothes? Or just fancier scarves?
I'll probably wear one of my outfits,
Excellent.
but I'm just not gonna take all of it off.
Right, so when the meal is kind of rounding to a close, there are also very good desserts and things that you are sort of supposed to choose between. There's kind of a voting box. It's like one of those. It's a little wooden box with 4 holes in it with names on it, and you get You get given a token, singular token, each. You get to put your token in whichever tavern you think won.
Salmon.
And you are informed by Surdak in the most dramatic way possible that you have how this is going to work with a talent show is that you're all going to come forward. You get one performance each, and the audience will get to vote. And if the audience decides they like you, then you go to the finals. Sorry, no, that's the wrong way around. Surdak does not explain that because Surdak's cleverer than me and remembers his own rules. Surdak informs you that you are going to be performing. You get one performance, and it'll be in front of 3 judges, which are Surdak, Alessandra, who is going to be arriving very soon, and he introduces Volioker Bristlebeard, who most of the crowd seem to know. Presumably he's a local, and they cheer and clap. It's a very stumpy, wide dwarf who is introduced as a great patron of the arts. And after everyone has performed, the judges will decide on a few finalists who will play just before the release of the Swallowtails, which is the big start of the big religious ceremony, which will happen in the evening. And a winner will be chosen from a public vote at that point. Or a winner and 2 runners-up. So, you're going to have two performances today. Yes.
Can I, in order to help distract from whatever shenanigans Snitch is planning, use Fascinate as a bardic performance?
I don't see why not. That sounds like a good use of a Fascinate. Fantastic. That can definitely be done. So, can you roll me whatever you are using for your performance roll? Whether that's perform, whether it's acrobatics, or escape artist, for
Technically,
example.
for me, it's profession.
When Alessandra arrives, there is a bit of a sort of flurry among people. She does sign a few autographs before she sits down. She's this she's a very beautiful elf, but she looks very, very cosmopolitan. She's clearly not a wood elf. She's wearing, current Magnamarian fashion, Nell. The others probably will not know or nor care
Nell's
about
just
that.
like, whoo, that belt costs more than most of the houses in this town.
She has trailing behind her, keeping... There's someone trailing behind her who seems to be sort of mostly just casually warding people off from touching her, is a very slim-built drow. Who's just sort of following behind. No. A manager, perhaps? An agent? Something along those lines? You do not know who this person is. And they just kind of sit behind Alessandra when she sits down at the judge's desk. She sits right in the middle. So obviously she's the most important one. No one has a buzzer, so you're not going to be buzzed on or off stage. There is no golden buzzer, which I believe is a new thing where one of them just hits the golden buzzer. And anyway, actual reality TV shows be damned. We're having a talent show here, and winner gets a chance to audition at the theater. So, it's Mox's dream that they've had all of an hour. So, did you roll your checks?
Yes.
Yes.
What did everyone get?
19.
18.
23.
Wow, okay. Hang on. I'll roll the judge's reactions to you.
Oh, for the Fascinate, by the way, the DC, if we don't half one because you can't, then it'll be 14.
Okay. 3 judges look fascinated. 2 of them got 13s. I'm so annoyed.
If possible, after my escape from the ropes, while everyone's distracted, can I make my way down the back of the stage, under the stage, out the front of the stage, under everyone's seats, to the back of the audience?
That's going to involve a stealth check.
Yeah, they get a -4 on skill saves if they're fascinated, but it's only a -4.
I'm dancing my ass off.
I'm not...
Add 14 to my stealth check.
Jesus!
Yeah, no, they do not notice. To begin with, they look like... Volioku doesn't look that impressed with what you all are doing. He's just like, oh, no, this is some good dancing. And sort of being a dwarf, being all traditionally stoic, as the culture is. But I don't know, there's a key change where everything gets more dramatic. And that's all we can sing of that, because copyright.
They will soon.
They will.
Light off the DMCA's.
And we will die because we cannot afford to be sued by them. But then at some point he kind of goes quiet and kind of goes, Alessandra looks utterly entranced with everything that's going on stage. Every time Snitch is like, oh no, I didn't quite make it free. She's like, oh! She's like on the edge of her seat at all times. She's very excited. She claps a lot, and then is shushed by the others. In the same way that you shush people who clap at ballets. Don't distract the dancer. Jeez, do you know nothing? And Surdak, kind of from the beginning, has just kind of been sitting watching you with a very sort of managerial face where you can't tell if he's impressed by what you're doing, but he doesn't hate it. He either likes it or he loves it.
He's still watching.
He's still watching. And there's a slight raise of an eyebrow and some nodding. So you appear to have got the judge's approval. Snitch, how did you do on that roll? What did we get? 27 on the
The stealth roll was 27, yeah.
27. Is your plan to just pop up in the middle of the audience?
Oh, behind the audience.
Behind the audience. Someone's going to have to point him out then. Because none of them saw him.
Nell's gonna, get to the point where she sort of, pauses in her dance and then goes... and points.
That's not quite true. Huron, did you see Snitch?
Yeah.
Can I get a perception check from you?
Be the one person who saw it.
I didn't hear what he got, but I got 23.
You did not see him.
So close.
Even though you knew that he was a rogue. And therefore was very sneaky. You still didn't see where he went. But when...
You might have seen a grey furry blur out the corner of your eye.
When there was a dramatic crescendo on... That's a word that is musical. On... I don't know. A dramatic bit of music. I understand music. That Mox plays. And Nell pauses and goes... Oh! And then Snitch is standing at the back of the crowd, and everyone applauds wildly. And Surdak goes. Alessandra looks like
leg I saved from earlier.
Alessandra looks like she might faint. If she had a golden buzzer, she would be hitting it. And
Picking your teeth with a fish bone.
And the stoic-looking dwarf nodding in approval. The 3 of them start clapping. You seem to
take
be...
Mox's hand and make them bow with me.
Yeah.
You seem to be rather favourites of the judges, so that's exciting. When you get off stage, you have to wait with everyone else for everyone to be finished. Quite a lot of them are either really bad stand-up comedians, doing little bits of plays. One of which you suspect Surdak may have written from his reaction to it. It's obviously like a little extract of a play. He kind of goes, and then does not clap them at the end.
Oh. Were they trying to suck up and failed?
Some of them are playing musical instruments, but they're not really very good because they may be, they may not have bard levels.
They don't have class.
They don't have class levels, so they don't have bard. At one point, a Mako does try and get onto the stage, and Surdak bodily tackles her off of
Oh
it.
jeez.
You should go up with like just a fake mustache, just wearing the exact
She
same.
does come up with a fake mustache. She's wearing a mustache.
That canon now.
So, yes, Surdak tackles her off the stage. She only makes like one stair, so she's not going very far. The crowd roars with laughter. The only person who looks like they're not entirely sure if this is okay is Alessandra, who's kind of going,
What is happening?
Some sort of local joke I don't get. But eventually Emeko does
Some sort of
fine.
country thing.
You don't want me to join in because you know I beat you hands down, Surdak. I'll see you at your latest flop, and leaves. You at the end you gather with all the other contestants, and Surdak informs you that if you come back and half an hour before the Swallowtail release, then he will inform all of you who is going to perform. So you literally will have no time. You will be told you're going to perform, and then you will perform immediately. So nobody gets lead-in time, because for some people that would help, and for some people it wouldn't. So he's like, nope, you are all fair and square. Nobody gets to know in advance.
It would definitely help. I can build him something to escape from.
So you have a few hours during which I can either go through more games or more challenges with you if you want to, or we can just hand wave and say you had a jolly good time at the fair.
Probably just hand wave at this point.
All right, so you had a jolly good time at the fair, and when you come back in something that I'm sure is absolutely gobsmackingly surprising to our audience and to all of you, you have been picked for the finals. Good lord!
The theater!
Exciting!
The theater mocks.
There are 5 contestants for the finals. 3 of those contestants will get free tickets to the play. 1 of them will get an audition. So, as in the group, you're not the only one that's a group. So these are specific for groups. So 2 groups of people or individual people will go home very disappointed and sad. Except they probably won't, because everyone's having a fantastic time and everyone is fairly drunk at this point. I'm assuming that for the sake of your art, Mox, you do not imbibe in any more alcohol or revisit the Kiss of the Outsider.
No, this is serious business now.
Nell, Snitch, have either of you imbibed at any point? Or is it just you just stick into the ale, which is, basically not alcoholic? It's...
A little bit of ale. Yeah.
Some of it is, but it's the children are having some of it, so you will also have noticed that there is a gnome who is wandering around crowds, and whenever he sees a child, he holds out a tiny sack, and the child takes something out of the sack and just skitters off. And this seems to just be a thing that the locals are just accepting of. You do a couple of times realize that they are taking sweets out of this bag. There also seem to be a few people who are uncertain as to what they should do, but are encouraged by locals. And like, no, it's fine. He just gives sweets to people. It's what he just does this.
I imagine Nell has like a proper moment of culture clash, seeing children take sweets out of a sack from a stranger, and like Nell's just like, if you did that in the city, you'd fucking die.
Probably the exact same point that Mox is taking a sweetie out of a sack from a stranger.
Nell's just like, it's
you are
fine
given
here.
a bit of a weird look, but it is allowed. You do see a number of things happening during your time wandering around. There is so at one point a very happy Morrow, and by happy I mostly mean merry, slightly drunk, offers you some mead. Probably Mox. Just comes over and goes, would you like some mead? I have some, it's really good mead. Free mead, friend, for it's a festival!
I want to.
Oh, that's okay. It's okay, friends. It's okay. We're still friends.
But you need to watch the final of the talent thing.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll go get my friends. Yeah.
Bring your friends.
And leaves
They
again.
can see my friends.
They are
friends.
They are possibly
that person is everyone's friend.
Possibly quite a young Morrow, maybe about 18. Might be their first drunken festival. That kind of age. And I don't know, other you see people making out down alleyways. You see old men haggling over really cheap trinkets and trying to get them down to a copper apiece when they're worth probably 3 copper. You see people just getting very excited. Like, everyone seems to be thoroughly enjoying themselves, except possibly that old man who is in fact a cheap bastard.
It's just the Tanner again.
At one point, you are you do see a crying child be rescued. They appear to have got lost in the crowd, and they get rescued by somebody. And they get rescued by a member of what appears to be the town guard, and brought to their parent, who is also wearing the town guard uniform. So they immediately seem to just be like, this uniform person.
It's the instinctive toddler reaction of, I have lost guardian, therefore I shall stand in the middle of all these people and scream until someone finds me.
Okay, so are you changing up your act at all, or are you doing exactly the same thing you did before?
We could change it up a bit. I'll do a different style of knot on Snitch.
I was thinking it's like what we could work in, because it's a cantrip. Prestidigitation. Can I use that with perform?
Absolutely. You could prestidigitation. You could do for days.
I think I have that one as well. We could just spice it up a little bit with that.
Yeah, throw in
make
some
everything
sparkles.
incredibly sparkly. Yeah.
Some like beam light effects. Like,
I've got
just
flare. I could time a flare so that Snitch has a good
Doesn't
chance.
doesn't that daze people?
Yeah, I'm not actually gonna do it.
And blind them.
Yes, for 6 seconds.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If they're blind, they can't tell how amazing your dancing
This
is.
is true. I'm not gonna do that. No, I'll just use prestidigitation to spice things up.
yeah, make it spicy. Could we not do like simple, as long as they're non-effective, like noises and stuff? Just to,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
like counter.
Like to get some
like
drums in the
echo
background.
and like.
Yeah. Alrighty. In that case, can you give me a performance / profession / escape artist check for your final performance? And Huron, I have to ask you, are you going to vote for them?
That's how they do.
Okay. Good answer, sir. So what did you get?
He's nothing but integrity.
24.
16.
Nell. Snitch.
I only got 19 this time for escape artist.
Well, and now I have to poll the crowd. 1 second. Huron, do you think those numbers are good enough that you're going to vote for them?
Depends how the other people did.
That's a good point. Hang on.
Are they fascinated though? They can see me. They can be fascinated.
No.
Ooh, there is one singer who is up there. The rest of them are kind of. You're not sure if in true X Factor fashion, they have been voted through for the lulz because they are so bad or so weird. But there is one of them who is genuinely amazing, who is probably on par with these guys. The audience is very excited, and yeah, they're going to be voting in a second. You get clapped off stage. Everybody's very excited. They surge towards the voting boxes. As you are, everyone's ushered away from the stage because a religious ritual needs to happen on it very soon.
Can Mox try and find the singer who said that they're really good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Find them.
Yeah, it's a young Ewan, so part elf, who is looking very nervous. They did all the singing all by themselves. They're wearing a very pretty dress, and they're just kind of standing there looking very nervous. Oh, hello.
Hi. I'm Mox. I was doing another act, and
Yeah, I heard you.
and it was really good. And it was really good.
I really liked yours. It was good. It was good.
It's really no. It's just it's hard. I never got the singing. I got the I don't sing. But
I mean, your violin playing is very, very good. I'm not very good with instruments. I can just sing, and I was really hoping that I could get this audition. But if you guys win, that'll be fine because you were really good.
but if you get the audition and you want song, then I can help.
Oh wow, would you really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that would be amazing. Thanks.
No problem.
Wow. I'm Naddy, by the way.
Naddy. Hello, Naddy.
Right. Okay. So which way does Huron vote?
Does he hear that?
Yes.
He votes for her.
Naddy gets votes. Okay. Poll the crowd. Hang on. Because I was doing that before, and then I remembered I actually had to roll for all the other people who were performing. And I got distracted. By my own stupidity.
By your own many plates.
By my own
That's your
incredible
talent.
numbers of NPCs in the same place at the same time.
What are the stats of everyone in the village?
There's like thousands of people here.
Better made that DC 14 save, otherwise I'm asking you to do it again.
So it is. You do get like an X Factor drum roll moment. So that goes, and the winner is, and everyone goes.
Did they get us both on stage and everything?
Yeah, they get all of you on all the groups on stage who performed. And they go, the winner is Moxnell on stage.
That's us. That's our names.
And they go, but it was a very, because it's Sardak doing that. So it was a very, very close run thing. So I am going to be the generous, magnanimous person you know me to be, and I am going to give both our winners and our first runner-up, Naddy, both auditions in the theater.
Yay!
He gets a round of
Oh,
applause.
should we just scream? She does it.
Duncan.
You did it,
Very
Naddy!
drunk around. She's crying. It's very X Factor. There's lots of hugging, I imagine. Everyone's
Mox
excited.
is gonna just be screaming. Do you hug? Can we hug?
Hugs!
Nell's both laughing and also just thinking in their head, oh yay, Mox made a friend.
Mox made a friend. So everyone's very excited and clapping, and it was all very exciting. And then Serdak's kind of ushering you quickly off the stage.
Yeah, because it's time for the religious rituals.
Everyone, Father Xantus will lead us in the Swallowtail Festival religious ceremony to celebrate the might of Desna, our great goddess. And Mox goes back to being confused about everything. But then before today, Mox did not know any stories about Desna, and now they know one. So, the sun is beginning to set. People are settling down. They've all got chairs. Well, some of them have chairs. Some of them are just standing. You know, plebs. Plebs don't get chairs. And Father Xantus stands on the dais, and there's still people sort of milling around in the different stalls and things, and sort of slowly making their way in. And he kind of waves, and from it's like round the side of the cathedral comes a cart, hooped cart, like a hooped wagon. It's quite a low hooped wagon. It doesn't look like you could stand up in it, with a cloth over the top, being pushed by an elf, a bugbear, a Ewan, and a dwarf, who are all wearing some kind of robes that do not look anywhere near as fancy as Xantus's robes. They are being directed at the front by a goblin, who is also wearing robes that are slightly fancier than their robes, and just kind of doing air traffic controller movements with their arms until they kind of just wave frantically, and the cart stops. And then the goblin turns around and sort of swoosh, bows to Father Xantus. Father Xantus bows back. And he says, "People of Sandpoint," in this huge booming voice that he was not using earlier. He was using a normal conversational tone earlier. This is very loud. "People of Sandpoint and neighbors from near and far. The Swallowtail Festival has been an honor to direct, but now it is time for the ritual of consecration in the memory of Desna and all who fell in the great fire." And he goes, "Juniper, if you would." and at the cart, the goblin pulls away the sheet on the top of the wagon, and from out of this little hooped wagon fly a storm of butterflies. Huge butterflies, about this big, swallowtail butterflies. And they just fly everywhere, and immediately every child in the vicinity is completely distracted by these, and anyone with ADHD and anyone with a short attention span.
And
Mox. Just butterflies everywhere. And as they fly kind of over the crowd, Father Xantus goes, "To gather you all here, cover your ears." Like in a much lower voice to everyone, he goes, "Cover your ears," to the people in the crowd directly in front of him. And he pulls something out of his pocket, which most of you, probably not Mox, will recognize as a thunderstone.
As soon as he pulls it out, like, Huron at this point, he's been fiddling with something, like a little bit of scrap, and he's got a screwdriver half in it. He looks up and sees it, goes,
"Oh shit!" And he slams his hands together above his head, and there is essentially, it's a well-named thing. There is a noise like thunder, like it's right on top of you, that just covers everything, and every other noise goes quiet. And all the people that were in the stalls and the other places in the town just come into the square. Obviously a signal of some description. Father Xantus clears his throat, takes a breath as if to speak. He has that face like he's going to be doing a sermon. And then there's a terrified scream splits the air. Father Xantus freezes. Then there's another scream, and another scream. The crush of the crowd increases as a flow of people rushes into the square from the north. Faces panicked, looking over their shoulders, their voices high and scared and unintelligible. Behind them there's a surge of noise, the clash of metal, the thump of feet on cobbles, some kind of bellowing, and a wordless, keening noise that makes your teeth vibrate and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. What do you want to do? You have a couple of seconds to react.
I arm my crossbow.
Mox whips out their violin.
Sounds ridiculous, but bards.
I guess I'll be letting I'll be letting the scarves loose.
Snitch?
I'll be drawing my short sword and buckler and standing where my back is protected somewhere.
All right. So behind all of you, bar Snitch, in that case, as you all presumably have turned to look to the north, behind you there is a scream. Very close behind you. What sounds like a shocked scream is cut abruptly short. And I'm assuming you turn.
Yes.
I'm trying to push past with crossbow in one hand, trying to get towards where the scream has come from.
As you turn, you see a dwarf behind you with very blank eyes and two wide, snarling grin, dropping the body of a hobbit whose throat they have just slit. And they turn towards you. Their face is splattered with blood, and they raise their crude blade high and roar a wordless challenge. Behind them, more armed figures pour from the neck of an alleyway. As the crowd tries to scatter for cover, the dwarf roars again, and the horrible keening wail in the background gets louder, joined by the drumming of running feet. And I'm going to need an initiative roll off everyone, please. Unless, of course, you're not fighting, in which case I will need a running away roll.
I would suggest that we take a tiny break here and then reconvene for the fight.
That sounds like a plan. We will be back in, say 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that that's a good enough cliffhanger to leave you on for the moment, chat. We will be back soon.
Hello.
Hello.
Should be back.
Hi there, everyone.
Hopefully we're back.
hopefully we're back. Let us know if we're quiet or if we're in the wrong places or general shenanigans. But hopefully,
Heckle us.
hopefully we will be able to jump right back in where we left off, which is our group have been spending the day at the Swallowtail Festival in the village of Sandpoint, and they have been having a glorious time.
Such a nice day.
3 of them have obtained the ability to the right to audition at the theater to join the ensemble there through the sheer ability of magic, mostly.
Of cheating. And actually having levels.
Huron won an arm wrestling against the biggest person he's ever seen in his life. And everyone's been having a glorious time of pie eating and copious amounts of alcohol.
And in the contest he actually cared about, he was annoyed at himself because it took him three shots to hit the bullseye.
So everyone's been having a fabulous day, and it has now been horribly interrupted by a bunch of attackers, invaders, with horrible glassy eyes. One of whom has just slit the throat of a hobbit, only a few feet away from the party as they gather in shock. And as everyone attempts to run in fear, the party are going to hopefully spring into action. I say hopefully because, as in any role-playing combat, they have every chance to just run away and or hide. I suspect they will not, however, because they were having a very good time and their day has been ruined and they are upset. So I am just going to take a moment as you guys, before you tell me what your initiatives are, though I would like you to roll initiative.
Have done.
I would like you to...
I've done. It was dreadful.
Take up the moment of me writing down some initiatives for the bad guys. Of explaining what your characters are doing before combat commences. What are you... We know that Snitch has got his back to a wall, probably. That kind of thing. Like, what are you... How are you prepping
As a
for this?
backstabber myself, I know how to defend against these things.
Paizo says we should attempt the Brave Sir Robin maneuver.
I hear that's very useful, and I can confirm it is what most of the people of Sandpoint are currently doing.
Good for them. They're smarter than us.
So Robin, run away.
I'm currently a gun tank with no armor.
No armor?
Well, I wouldn't be wearing it.
Oh.
No. And here we see...
And even then, I only have leather, so it's not like I would be properly armored.
You're right. Mock's changed into fancy clothes.
Yeah.
Guys are in fancy clothes right now. You were interrupted in the middle of having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I took off the slightly web-covered and bloody
Let me see how much
leather
that actually...
armor that I got in session 0.
Okay, that
Wearing
doesn't...
a hide shirt, fashionable and functional.
Okay, that doesn't actually affect my AC too much, which is nice. But yeah, like...
It doesn't affect mine by very much either.
Yeah. Visibly speaking, Nell doesn't actually look like she's armed in any way. And I'm probably just going to leave it at that, because surprises are fun and interesting.
Yep. Sure are.
So Huron, he has what's called a ram hammer to his side. It's like a specific dwarven weapon. His particular one is stylized with a big ram's head as the head of the hammer. It's made for throwing as well as just hitting with. He has a heavy crossbow, and he also has a very big bag, which he carries everywhere. It's never more than a couple of foot from him.
Alrighty.
I was going to say, Mox, after, went for the violin out of instinct, realised much closer than they thought to combat enforcement. Pull out their finely crafted rapier instead, takes up position, is ready to go.
All right. So, what did everyone get for initiatives? Mox, we'll go with you first.
I got a 10. Also, can I use prestidigitation just to make my mullet flutter slightly in the wind?
Always. That is always an acceptable use of prestidigitation.
Permanent effect.
Yeah, just...
Fate bound to fluttering hair.
Nell, what's your initiative?
20.
Well, that's running the gamut a little bit. Huron.
Quick.
9.
Here was me thinking Mox would be going last.
Because I took time to change weapons and
Snitch.
enchant my hair.
Oh, Huron, slow, ponderous Huron. I got 6.
Oh no.
Why did I get better initiative than the rogue?
I need to
Because
point
the
out you
rogue
got
rolled really poorly.
Nell got the best initiative in the combat.
Nice. She does get a +4 to it. She's very fast. If you know what I mean.
I mean, is that a good thing? You said that was like it was a good thing. I don't think that's a good, is that a good
That'd
thing.
be a good thing.
Depends on the
It could be a
context.
good thing.
You're in a hurry.
I work fast, damn it. I can.
I suppose if you get paid by the client, you're good.
I was going to say it's paid by hour, paid by client. That's the difference.
The production line.
Good lord.
Next.
We need to point out that she dances.
Yeah, no, Nella's primarily a dancer. She doesn't actually engage in actual sex work very often. She does sometimes, but not all that often. It's probably not even going to be that relevant
She
to
does
what we're
not
doing.
engage
but...
in sexual intercourse.
I mean, she
very
does,
often.
but...
She just
That's
doesn't get paid
pleasure,
for it.
not
That's the
business.
problem.
No, she does, just not very often.
All right, so I need to inform you that people are scattering. There are 3 combatants in front of you, all of whom are quite glassy-eyed. Not exactly foaming at the mouth, but
Something
If
isn't right.
something is not normal here. If any of you, and probably it's only Huron, you'll have seen a barbarian or 2 in your time, as in the class, not...
Yeah, the lights are on, but nobody's home.
This is very similar to what happens with barbarians, yes. So it might be that, or it might be something else, or it might just be that these are idiots. You don't know.
Just be rogue nutters, to be
Yeah,
fair.
you have no idea. But currently, when the crowd clears substantially, in your general vicinity, and ready to throw down, are a goblin, a human, and the terrifying dwarf who slit the hobbit's throat. All of whom are wearing armor and have weapons. Some of the weapons are bloody, some of them are not. And they are ready to go. Nell, you are going first in this combat. What would you like to do?
I would like to go for the dwarf. Is there a way for me to get behind him, feasibly?
There's no tumble check in Pathfinder, is there? It's an acrobatics roll. To do that.
Acrobatics, same thing, yeah.
Acrobatics roll to pull that off,
Okay.
which would take up your movement action.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. 18.
I just had a moment of realizing I'm not sure what that's actually against. Rules,
I think
people.
it's their CMD.
Ah, that would make sense.
That actually makes more sense than it being a bunch of numbers. I'm probably just remembering 3.5.
So, what was the number, sorry, Nell?
18.
Absolutely. He is not reacting fast enough to react to you.
Alright, and then I'm gonna try and hit him. And if I hit him, I shall describe what that looks like for the lovely audience.
Fantastic.
This dice really likes me, apparently. It's sorry for the 1 it gave me. Yeah, that's 21 to hit.
That absolutely hits him.
Sick. So yeah,
Story
basically,
time.
Nell kind of dives towards this person, flutters past them in just a sea of floaty scarves, and then catches one of the scarves and slashes out with it, and the end is bladed, which she has been very careful with up till this point. And she's going to slash across this guy for 5 damage.
5 damage? 5 damage. Good lord. Okay, cool. Now I have to play a fun game of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who is the goblin going to attack? I think the goblin is going to go for Huron.
This is going to help his racism, by the way.
No, I know. It's fine. You're just closest. None of them seem to be actually seeking out targets. They always just seem to be attacking whoever is right there. But I highly suspect he misses obscenely. Unless your AC is 6.
Ooh.
Fantastic, he misses. Swings a short sword at you in what might be described as a blind rage, and shrieks something that is unintelligible. Even if any of you speak Goblin, still unintelligible.
Not.
And misses wildly, shrieks again, and like swings back to have another go. So it is now.
Huron just takes like. It's difficult to describe, like, but it's like a marching step, like a regimented step backwards.
Oh.
Just leveling the bow.
Mox, it's your turn.
I think, as I remember it in our secret episode, my testing spell of ear-piercing scream.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna pull that out.
Fantastic.
Such a good spell.
Make sure I've got this back up.
It's an excellent spell.
I love it.
Cool. So I just need to do my concentration check for that, don't I?
Do they have to do any opposed rolls, or are you trying to hit them? I can't remember how that one works.
It's a save.
It's a save.
Yeah, it's a save if they're dazed.
Okay, cool. What's the save?
Is
it Dex? Not Dex. Ref.
Or Fortitude, I believe.
Fortitude. And
Yes.
is it a single target or a mass target, Mox?
Single target.
Cool. Which one are you going for? Human, dwarf, or goblin?
Probably dwarf, because they're the one that's the one that Mock saw
Yep, that's
with murdering.
the one you've seen straight up murder someone. Yes.
That's the one we saw definitely kill someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the other two, but the dwarf has definitely killed someone. You watched them do it. Cool.
Ooh! Natural 20!
They have very much not made that
Oh,
save.
that would have been what? Like 24?
They did not make their save.
Okay, excellent. Right, I get to roll my damage now. So they're dazed for a round.
Okay.
And that's 5 damage.
And I need to inform you that not only is he stunned by the shrieking, but when the shrieking ends, the dwarf collapses backwards with blood coming out of his ears and does not move.
Hell yeah!
He just collapses. Mox and Nell like meet eyes over his body,
yeah.
just like.
It's high-fiving a free action.
Yes. I will count high-fiving as a free action if you are close enough.
Surely we'll be sharing a space now, so high five.
I mean, you're at the very most like 5 feet apart, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. Huron, it's now your turn. There's a goblin up in your grill.
Continuing that like perfectly regimented step back, levels the crossbow, just shoots him point blank.
Alrighty, let's have a go.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get.
It's only an 11, I'm afraid.
You do not, in fact, hit him. He doesn't seem to exactly get out of the way so much as be smaller than you expected. The bolt goes through a bit of armor that doesn't seem to have any flesh behind it. He's wearing armor one size too large.
Oh.
Perhaps.
You just
kind of
see
goes through the side. Like, there's just a hole.
Goes straight through, and then he winces and just narrows his eyes at the bow that he's holding.
All right, and then there was the dwarf.
Crossbow, I should say. I keep saying bow.
But he's now dead, so it's the human's turn. The human is closest to Snitch. So Snitch, you got a human up in your grill.
All of it now.
With dem crazy eyes.
Not that you can see them, but you know.
And they have, and this seems like a missed opportunity that I'm now sad I didn't do, a rapier. So, Mox wants to get in there and do some dueling.
with my flanking damage from Snitch being nice and cozy wozy.
Do you buckle some swash at him?
Yes.
So
Oh
the
gosh, someone
human
explain buckling swash to Mox.
the human with the crazy eyes attempts to shish kebab Snitch, and gets a 16 to do so.
Not enough.
Ah, misses.
Even
Flailing-
flat-footed, my AC is 18.
Rogues. The
Also, imagine
human
your size modifier.
Yep.
Armor, dex, and size.
Yeah.
the human flails in a way that a rapier was never meant to be used.
Yeah,
It
no.
looks more like
No,
he
wait, no,
thinks...
sorry. No, he does hit me. I thought my dex was 1, for some reason it's 4. So yeah, he does hit me.
Okay.
It's fine.
I
I will-
numbered completely wrong. He totally hits me.
Okay, he totally hits you. So he flails at you with a rapier. Still in a way that rapier is not supposed to be used.
But connects regardless.
He
Next,
swings
regardless,
at
because of Stitch's own arrogance.
he swings at you in a
Just
way
doesn't
that,
move.
that makes Snitch go, "That's just what about going to hit me with a whippy bit of wire?" But he's wielding it with enough force that he does in fact hit you.
It is still a sword.
Yeah. All right. He does 6 damage.
Ow.
He is, in fact, for those of you for anyone who would consider themselves to know things about weapons, wielding it much more like it was a longsword. Doesn't seem to really know what he's doing, but hit people with enough strength, it's fine. Snitch, it's your turn. There's a human with crazy eyes and a rapier he doesn't know how to use.
Well, it certainly felt like he knew how to use it.
He knows how to do damage with it, maybe not how to use it.
Like if Mox got up in his grill with another rapier, then we'd have a problem. But he's just hitting people with it. So Snitch, what would you like to do?
I would like to withdraw away from this guy.
Oh, okay.
If I can get away with it from him without being stabbed again.
Full withdrawing movement.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what that's actually called.
Mm.
Is it just called full
Disengage.
withdraw? Disengage. Thank you. Full action
Okay.
disengage, which means you do not take attacks of opportunity. I have been reading the rules. This is a new thing for me.
And you move bloody miles as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get to safety should you wish to do so. The cathedral is in fact not very far away from you, and there are a cadre of kind of hench-looking people standing on the steps, guiding running scared people inside, and then just beating up anyone who comes near them who isn't running scared.
Like, I'm not going to get too far away from these guys. I just want to get away from the guy that's stabbing me.
You absolutely can. Alrighty.
Because that was more than half my health he just stole away from me.
Woo, level 1!
You dart backwards. He doesn't follow you exactly. He does a kind of ragey noise, and looks like he's about to follow you, but you know it's not his turn, so we can't do that.
He goes, blarg.
And you kind of almost run into somebody when you take a couple of steps back, or enough steps back. Snitch. You see the goblin wearing the robes from earlier, the one who was directing the cart with the hand signals. And she grabs you as you try to, get away. Not in like an attacky kind of way. She just puts both hands on your arm. Take 4 hit points back. As there's a small glow emanating from the goblin's hands. Try not to get hit again, yeah?
Okay.
Right. Only got so many of them in me a day. And then she seems to kind of just scurry off to where there's another group of people fighting, and just another glow occurs, and then she scurries off again. She's just running around the battlefield. As there is something of a battlefield happening at the moment. The You notice both Xantus and Ameko, who you have met by this point. You know, you've befriended these people, or befriended one of them and been talked at by the other. They are both standing on outside the doors of the cathedral. Ameko has a sword in one hand. It's a very fancy-looking sword, and just anyone who comes near her is just dispatched. Just nope. And Xantus is doing some kind of ritual magic that seems to keep people from getting too close if they have raidery intentions. You also see Surdak standing across the other side of the town hall. He's standing on top of a wagon that used to be a part of a stall. He's standing on top of it, waving his arms and being dramatic. And the people near him seem to take courage.
Clutching his skirts above his knees.
No. He's being useful. People around him seem to take courage from whatever it is he's saying.
Yeah.
You can't hear him over the shouting, but he seems to be helping.
Could well be inspiring courage.
He might be
True.
said to be inspiring courage. So back to the top of the round. It is Nell's go.
Sick. Can I get in between the human and Snitch?
Absolutely, because Snitch is backed off.
Okay, cool. I would like to do that, and then I would like to wallop the human.
Fantastic. Give me a good old walloping. And by
Here's
me, I
hoping.
mean the human.
Ooh, I spoke too soon last time about the dice liking me. That was another nat one. I don't
Ooh.
hit shit.
You do not, in fact, hit the human. So, no, moving on. We're going to have the goblin is going to try and hit Huron.
Just
We're going to have
realized
a
something.
game of fisticuffs with blades, because that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he got another 6. So he's not hitting anyone.
Yes.
He's just swiping at you blindly. You're not in fact entirely sure whether or not he can see you.
Yeah.
The
The fact that he uses very much to his advantage.
They are all of these people that you were fighting seem to be just completely glazed over, so you don't know if they can see. In which case, the goblin fucked his roll, so it's Mox's turn.
Woo.
There's still the
Who would
goblin
I be
and
closest to?
probably the human, because that's where Nell moved to, so that's probably the closest to you.
Let's have some rapier on rapier combat.
Excellent.
You'll get a +2 to hit him if you flank with me. So
Be 14?
That does, in fact, hit him. Do your damage, good friend. Shish kebab this person. 5 damage. Excellent. The human does not react to being stabbed. The human's body reacts in that there is blood produced, but the human doesn't really react to being stabbed. So after Mox, it is Huron's turn again. There's a goblin waggling a sword at you. Are you going to shoot him? Are you going to waggle something back? Please make it a sword, or an axe, or a mace.
I mean, it could be a blunt weapon of some kind.
Listen. That's a terrible idea to fight.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, because I'm using the shitty crossbow, what I'm gonna have to do is load my crossbow with a move action, not stepping out of combat,
Okay.
and then shoot him. You will get an attack of opportunity for the shot.
See if he rolls another 6. Does a 16 hit you?
Yes,
Heck. Okay.
that would hit me armored.
Found the right dice. I didn't think he was going to actually hit anyone, so I didn't get that dice ready. I'm disappointed in my NPCs. Take 1 damage.
Yeah.
I love your NPCs.
I am on board for small amounts of damage.
I imagine, yeah.
Considering how squishy we all are.
All right, that was his attack of opportunity. So Huron, shoot the
I will
goblin.
take my shot.
Shoot your shot, kid.
I'm also going to spend a grit to target touch AC.
Ooh. Ooh. Very exciting. Using complicated rules rather than the simple rules.
That is 15 on touch.
Absolutely. Do your damage so I can tell you whether or not he's dead.
That is 5 damage.
Not dead. He's not looking hot.
Still with amount of damage though.
He's not looking. I was going to say he's not looking happy. The general amount of blood that is outside of his person is a bad amount of blood.
Is it quite anime character level yet, or are we
no, you're just standard bleeding is occurring.
There's more blood than there should be.
No, you're good. But
so he basically
he doesn't look phased in any way.
He comes in with the second attack, basically halfway between when he's pulling it back. He twists to take it on a shoulder, then twists back and just unloads the bolt in his face.
Nice.
Doesn't quite manage to get it, so it just kind of goes.
Yeah, he's got a crossbow bolt sticking out of his face. I shall not describe in great detail, but you can imagine that on a normal person, that would cause a great deal of crying and being in severe agony. His face does not change. Except from having a crossbow bolt stuck out of it, which is quite a big change.
Okay.
So, it's the human's turn, and the human is generally upset at life, except, again, their face hasn't changed, because they have 2 people wailing on them. So that's not fun for them. They were doing so well.
Having so much fun. Yeah, what's that like? What's that like? Salty.
Just because someone's day was ruined.
Gonna be in the theater.
Does an 11 hit you, Nell?
No, it doesn't.
Thank goodness. He waggles his rapier at you. That's not a euphemism, unfortunately, for you.
Way.
And that's his turn. He fucked up, and everyone's level 1 here, so yeah. Snitch, it's your turn.
Cool. Well, I'm going back into the fray. I'm going to charge the human, and I'm going to slide on my knees for the last few feet underneath Nell as I do so.
Well, you get a scarf to the face, but it's dramatically blown away. It's not one of the bladed ones. It's fine. Just a normal scarf. She's just covered in them.
Yeah. It is her aesthetic.
Oh, that's quite good. 22 to hit.
I don't even know why I bothered looking at my stats. Yes, that hits. That hits. You're going for the human. Yes, I'm not going mad. That's what you said.
I'm going for the human, yeah.
Fantastic. I've got the right stats.
From my knees, just stab up into his gut.
Don't worry.
Roll me the damage for that, because that sounds painful.
6 damage.
Ooh.
A little bit of sneak attack on top of that as well.
Ooh. So, do you add extra for the sneak attack?
Oh no, that was it total. Sorry.
Oh, that was in total. Okay.
I was mentioning that it was a sneak attack.
Rogues be brutal.
He's not in any way having a good time right now. Sort of sways on the spot. Doesn't fall, but for a second there's a facial expression. Just a second. Which Snitch can't see because he's underneath it.
I wish I had the ability to cast another spell. Oh wait, no. There's just cantrip mage hand and just push it.
On your turn, you could do that. Yeah. So he's not down and dead, but he is having such a bad time that he's slightly realized he's having a bad time. And it is now back to the top of the round. So it's Nell's turn.
Alrighty then. This human is still in my face. He's not yet dead.
Yeah, he's staggering a bit and blinking and looking less glazed.
Right, come here, fucker.
Mildly confused.
Cut his head off.
Let's see if I can just slit his throat real quick. Oh, I might be able to. I just might be able to with a 15. Nope, a 16 even.
Absolutely, well done.
Excellent.
Cheeky little throat slit.
Just a cheeky... Oh, and max damage of 7. A cheeky little 7 damage throat
Just
slit.
a little cutty-wutty.
Just a little
night.
slice.
Never say that again, Viv. Never say that phrase again. That was weird.
We're not allowed
Stop
to say it.
Stop saying the words.
That thing you did. Never do it again.
Never do that again. You do promptly slit his throat. As the blood starts gushing out, his eyes seem to clear, and he just looks shocked and confused, and just falls to the ground. And
Shocked, confused,
gurgles
then
for a
dead.
bit. Goblin is last man standing of these three. Did not see that coming. Goblins with their notoriously high hit point number.
Long lives and high hit points. That's
Very
all we know
great,
about
great
them.
amounts of hit points, goblins. Don't know how he managed to get this lucky. Freaking hell. Okay. The goblin is attacking Huron again. Huron. Does a 21 hit you?
Yes.
I rather thought it might. Let's get that.
Given that it's 5 more than the one that hit me last turn.
I don't know. Maybe you became super special awesome when you're.
Yeah, actually, I've got like +5 mountain plate now, so he doesn't hit.
I'm thoroughly expecting at least one of you to tell me when I get like a 25 or something. But no, that definitely didn't hit. We're magic sap somehow. This time you can take 3 hit points of damage,
No.
as he does in fact wallop you with a sword.
Almost down to single digits.
Magic users, do you want to smack him as much as I do?
Yes.
Okay, so after the gobbo, it is Mox's turn. Mox,
Am I close enough to move and attack the gobbo?
Yes, you can. It's definitely within your movement.
Fracking do that and then.
Just shimmying your way over.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I doubt I'll be in a position to flank, but I'll just roll normally, I guess.
No, you'd be flanking with, probably be flanking with Huron.
Oh, cool.
I'm a slightly laxer about the flanking rules because Pathfinder is very cruel with its flanking rules.
That's an unnatural 20 then.
Surprisingly, you do in fact hit. I know everyone's shocked. Goblins, also known for having really high AC.
I mean, they do tend to have pretty decent AC because they're very dexy.
That's another 5 for damage.
And Mox takes out the goblin.
Can I skewer him straight through his eyes?
You absolutely can.
Sick.
The goblin hits the deck without a moment to realize that
Just a
he's
nice,
dying.
like a proper clean, like
Yeah.
just.
Very clean move.
Yeah.
Dies before he even realizes he's dead. Extremely dead before he hits the ground. Technically, you are now all out of combat, and as it is in fact 10 o'clock, and we did say we'd finish at 10, this seems like a good place to finish. However,
Almost exactly correct.
I need to inform you of a development before we go. So,
Can I say that, like, as we end out of combat, Nell's just gonna like look down and say, "Snitch usually are charged for that position. You might want to get out from under there."
There is chaos surrounding you. People are running screaming. There are these bandits or raiders or whatever they are following people. They seem to be they're chasing whoever runs. If they're chasing somebody and someone else runs past them or near them and that person's closer, they'll start following that one instead. Some of them have lit torches and they seem to be setting things on fire as they go. Some of the fires are getting quite big, but none of them are. The only ones that are big are the ones that are on market stalls, because those things are mostly dry wood and canvas and will go up like tinder.
Dry wood and other flammables.
Yeah. Especially
There
the
is-
tinder stall.
Yes, the tinder stall. There is, however, there is a large cart that was being used to transport what was probably the fuel for the bonfire that everyone kept talking about in the evening, and that is now itself a bonfire. It's a little earlier than it was supposed to be, but it's
Did his job.
and it wasn't supposed to be in the cart probably, but there's a lot of wood and it's now on fire. There's a lot of fighting going on, but it seems like a lot of the people who are fighting have this sorted, and they're protecting small groups of people. And what we shall end on tonight, gentle folks of the chat and my lovely players, is that as you're beginning to get your breath back, you hear the distinct sound of a crying, screaming child somewhere close by as more feet start running in your direction. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. So, I really hope that everyone really enjoyed themselves. And if you are here in the chat, then thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad to have you. That thing that Viv is doing is aimed entirely at me, not at you. Unfortunately, I am now scared for my life because Viv is my flatmate. It's fine. I don't have to ever leave my room again. We have entered on our foray into what is going to be an ambitious undertaking. What we are hoping to do, fingers crossed that it all works out, gone quite well so far, is that we are hoping to run through as many of the Paizo adventure paths as we can, starting with Rise of the Runelords, the first one they ever published, and finishing with Return of the Runelords, because while not the last one they ever published for first edition Pathfinder, makes a nice contained arc. This does, however, mean that we have approximately 18 adventure paths to get through, and an approximate that may take us at best 18 to 20 years.
Yeah. So... During initial calculations when we were talking about doing this months and months ago, I was like, right, so how many paths are there? So we're set for about 20 years, okay?
Roughly. Another estimate I saw online says each path takes roughly 3 years to complete, so we will still be doing this when we are old and decrepit, more so than we are now.
I saw someone say online that they could be completed in 6 months, and I was like, you're lying.
If you're playing every night.
Maybe. I also discussed with Nick last time I saw him about doing a speed run, but for that you would need to have prior knowledge of what is happening in this game, and that is cheating. So, hopefully the plan is that all of these characters, fingers crossed, will make it to the end of this adventure path, and then the next adventure path we do, the whole point is we are starting a dynasty here, Pathfinder Dynasty. They are going to be, hopefully, playing new characters in the second adventure path who are in some way related to or connected to these previous characters. Thus, a dynasty of characters. So, we're very excited about that. I thought I'd tell you at the end, because if you're still here, then you deserve that little extra bit for sticking around for this long.
Sprinkle.
Little sprinkle of extra goodness. 20 years of Pathfinder content coming your way. Fingers crossed. They all agreed to this. I need to point this out. They're all looking they're looking very sad.
We agreed
to this. Agree to this.
Just to freak all of you out, my age will have doubled by the time we finish this.
Mine will not.
So
I'm a baby.
So hopefully
I've got nothing else on.
all being well, except all the things that aren't well in the world. All being well in our lives, we will be back next Thursday, at 7 p.m. Are we on GMT or British Summertime now? I always forget.
It is the summer.
British Summertime, BST, until 10 o'clock ish, and we shall be continuing with the rest of what is going down in Sandpoint, and ruining these characters' lovely, lovely day. A day which I included a thing I need to point out to them: using magic for purposes that we're not fighting, and therefore not having as many spells in the evening, and getting quite drunk, for which I am not penalizing you. Because I am a kind.
They got drunk in the morning. They had enough time to mostly sober up.
If you had gone back to the tickle and feather, there probably would be penalties right now. I think that's everything. if anyone's got any plugs, now is the time to do it.
Well, I'll say that the nkyRoleplaying Twitter and Facebook links should be down below. I haven't been able to put social links for everybody yet, but that should be sorted by next week. I was just having trouble getting everything done in time.
You may have seen the one mod currently in the chat, which is me. That's Colonel Savage. If you fancy watching me making an arse of myself playing video games, you can find me at that channel. There are schedules. It's like I try to do 3. I try to do 3 a week, but I don't know how often that's likely to happen because I am a very tired individual.
Yeah.
Viv, do you have plugs?
Yes, you can follow me at Vivian the Viking with too many Y's at Instagram and on Twitter. My Instagram also links to my art Instagram, which is separate, and my Twitter is mainly lefty politics and wrestling.
The best combination.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sneaky Urchin, and you can also follow me on TikTok at the same @ I'm genuinely more active on TikTok than I am on really anything else right now, so if you want stuff, go there. And I'm going to do small promos for this thing on TikTok, so...
yeah, please follow. At least come and join us on Facebook. We like getting the word out, spread the links to your friends. Or, I mean, I was going to say, if you enjoy us, spread the links. If you don't. But if you don't enjoy us and you want to send people here to laugh at us, that's also fine.
Yeah, cool. Just,
we can handle that. We got this.
We're seasoned professionals.
We got this. Because as our description says, we're disabled queers on the internet. Like, we got this. we knew what we were
survived high school. We got this.
Me more.
So, the only other plug I have is to say a huge amount of thanks to our good friends over at the Trash Crew, the It You Trash Crew.
Yes.
Who helped us figure out how to do this whole streaming thing. And I do need to give a nod to our previous endeavors over at Pink Handbags at Dawn. Some of us were in that streaming crew for a while. That helped sharpen our abilities to do this. Please follow one or both of those if you like more role-playing shenanigans. Not sure what Pink Handbags are up to these days. But Trash Crew are consistently amazing with their Star Trek and occasionally other games. Mostly I just watch their Star Trek because I can't look away. When I was actually in one of their one-shots for that, so that was exciting. And they will also be doing a new stream, which I almost said, and I think the GM for that stream is in this chat, and I would have been shouted at because I don't think the game's been announced yet. But there is a new game that the Trash Crew are going to be doing that I am in, and I'm very excited about. So I can't tell you anything else about it until Luke says I can. So, secret game. And I think that's everything we have, unless you had something else.
Yeah, I did think of something else. Our banner and part of our logo was drawn by Emma Atkin, a very dear friend of mine, so credit to her for that. It's not quite finished yet because real life came for her in the night, but hopefully it will be finished, and it looks real fucking good. So thank you, Emma. Thank you very much for that.
It's amazing. We are really impressed. The thing we've been using on the various social medias as a profile picture was not made by Emma. It is a picture of a 1,000-year-old bone dice, which is broken. Hence, wonky role-playing. Because I am a clever person who does puns. I swear. And I think that is everything.
Or psychic damage.
So, thank you very much for joining us again. I hope you all had a good time. And we will hopefully see you all next week. So, bye from us. Adios.